Okay. According to that, it started. Now, let me see. Once we go live, I'll tell you. Okay, it's starting now. So I guess we're going to be live.
Right on, right on.
So, anyhow, ain't nobody in here yet, but I'm sure somebody will be along momentarily
Yeah,
because I didn't
it's
announce
been
this.
it's been a crazy day. They've been making a lot of announcements, and a lot of things are going on, even just in the city, that you can see with your own eyes, and that's what
Well,
worries me.
you know, I got a person in the Quad Cities that showed me, which is about 40 miles away from me, a little less than 40 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Quad Cities, which is Davenport, Bettendorf, Rock Island, and East Moline, Illinois, that's joined together by bridges. Military outside of the international airport. Okay. Now I just got through watching a report with Press for Truth where they have Jason Bermas on there from Infowars. I don't even know if he works
Mm-hmm.
for them anymore. Okay. And what he said matches everything I study to know. Okay. And it's actually pretty damn scary when you think about it because
It is.
this is no accident, and I do believe there's probably people dying. And I don't know if it's from what they're saying or if it's a strain of flu, because from what I'm hearing now, corona is a is one of the strains of flu. Okay,
Right.
and this has been deliberately dropped on us, and it's not no accident that it's worldwide. It's been deliberately done. 2020 was when they wanted to officially bring in the NWO. Okay, and they plan on doing just that. They're deliberately, just like China would be, right in your face.
Yeah.
They're gonna shut everything down. And now, according to this, in 2 days from now, New York, the entire state of New York, will be under lockdown. No essential traveling. Now,
Yeah.
also, I heard yesterday that Colorado will be under lockdown.
That's a
Okay,
surprise. Well,
so
actually, no, it's not. It's not a surprise. The more I think about it.
yeah, well, Trump actually had a private meeting, probably through a program like Skype or Zoom, with all of the governors across the U.S. They're all on board with it. The governments across the globe are all on board with this. This is an NWO plan to bring in NWO. I think we're going to see the dollar crash. We're going to see the economies crash globally. They're going to introduce us to digital money, which is the cashless society I've been telling people about. Okay. And there's probably going to be all kinds of other things that's going to be implemented through this, through scare, through fear, to get people to go along, to get people to go along. They're going to baby step it. So baby step it means, well, right now schools are doing open in April, but then they'll announce that, well, we're 2 out of the schools can't reopen right now. And you've already heard Trump say that they're not allowed to foreclose or evictions. Okay, Trump already made that statement that nobody can be evicted from their home. Okay, this tells me that they're planning on shutting everything down and nobody's going to have the ability to pay, and they're going to leave you locked down in your homes. It's the beginning of martial law. Okay, and because I've listened to the guy from what Trump's press today from CDC, it sounds like it'll be a CDC type of martial law. If that happens, you're going to see blue helmets on your streets. You'll have foreign military in here. I've seen another video today where supposedly just for training exercises, we had German, European military right here in America. So I suspect what they're doing is right now, while they're doing all this reporting to you and they're doing it in baby steps, they're getting everything in place. They're bringing military in from CDC, from overseas. That's why we have European people from Germany, military right now in the United States.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to implement martial law before we're only one click away from martial law right now. Now I'm thinking I'll probably do it like a state by state thing. You know what I'm saying? As they bring it
Yeah.
in baby steps until they get the entire country locked down. This is probably going to go on for the next 18 months, maybe a year and a half or a little better. But at the end of it
18
all,
months.
yeah,
Shit.
but at the end of it all, everything will be totally different. Everything.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bill. Um, Not having a wife and kids is something I'm very grateful for right now. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Um, I'm glad that I have no debt and at least some money to live off of if our company ended up shutting down. Um, now, right now, things are slow, and I'm only working about 30 hours a week as we speak. Um, but that being said, just because I work in a job that hasn't been directly affected by this problem, like people working in the restaurant industry, public service sector, gyms, barbershops, places like that, in due time, I feel as though a lot of people working jobs unrelated to those businesses will still either end up having layoffs, pay cuts, hour cuts, or flat out um, termination altogether within months to come because a lot of different businesses are not independently function. They rely on other businesses for their profits. And if certain
Yes.
businesses are going down, then that means that the businesses that are working together are going to be affected by those other businesses that are already going out of business.
Well, this is a little worse than what people are thinking, because I'll tell you something, okay? First off, Trump had told everybody not to panic, not to be emptying the shelves in the stores, that there's plenty to go around, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, and while your back is turned, the grocery stores that are receiving their shipments are only receiving part of their orders.
Right.
Okay, so they can't keep the shelf stocked because they're not getting their orders, they're only getting partial. And
And
that's across the United States. And it all started at the same time as this. That's no accident, okay? Then the other thing is we've never in the history of mankind had a pandemic that went global. This is the
right.
first, the very first. Okay, then we have the fact that you're seeing military movement, which at the same time. And then I think they're fudging the numbers. I don't think they're being honest with you. I believe there probably are people, but I don't see people. Okay, so far every case they're reported, nobody knows. They just hear blah blah blah.
Right.
Jason Goodman did a really good job with his on the street videos in New York. Okay,
Yeah.
and now they've locked down the entire state of New York by Sunday. So by Sunday, the entire state of New York could be locked down, just like California and Colorado.
Right. Well,
Okay.
Steve Hoka talked about that. He mentioned the Jason Goodman video. He went around asking people, "Do you know anybody with this virus?" And he couldn't find anybody that actually knew anybody with the virus.
Yes.
Now that doesn't mean that there isn't anybody with the virus, but it just goes to show that when we look at the virus itself, that the virus itself does not bother me.
Well,
Um,
the thing is people say, like, I understand the people who are employees of the establishment, and Jason
mhm.
Goodman is probably the guy that put the planes in the footage for 9/11. Okay, I've done a lot of research on Jason Goodman when Jerry and I were working together, and I know
Mhm.
quite a bit about that man. That man is as corrupt is.
Well,
But
I don't know anything about him,
yeah, but
but
you need to understand something. Even though this guy's a multi-billionaire, and he's up here freaking doing all these live streams, it don't mean he's not going to tell you some truth. And
right,
there's no way you can fudge what Jason Joe Goodman did, because he actually videoed live himself walking down the streets of New York, going on the subway, going all over down Manhattan, going up in front of hospitals, asking people, talking to paramedics, literally asking paramedics, ask the physician, a doctor, and even the doctor, well, no, we got a couple patients in this hospital with it. And he says, so you actually went and seen, they are? And he says, well, no, that's what I hear. So see, it's what I hear. It's what I hear.
right,
It's what I hear. Where's the evidence? But I'll tell you what they are doing. They're going to crash, because this is no accident. They're deliberately crashing the societies across the globe. Okay? And they're going to do it in baby steps. They're going to keep upping a little more and a little more and a little more until every state and everybody is locked down with businesses not running. And it's going to be just what you've seen happen in China. They shut everything down. Okay? What you're seeing going on around the world is exactly what's going to happen here. They're going to do it in baby steps and lock everybody down. We're under CDC martial law. Believe me, if it's CDC martial law, you will have foreign troops on your streets. And that adds up to so-called the German military exercise here in America. It's
Right.
not an exercise. They're just not telling you what they're doing. That makes sense out of that video out of the Quad Cities. Outside of the
Right.
international airport was military.
Well, Bill, one thing I'll mention too is that they have these police patrol units with um, community protective service badges
Right.
on the side of the vehicles. I have never seen those
No,
in my
well,
life,
we
but I've
got
seen
we
four of
got
them
this.
in
We
the
got
past
this
day.
too. We got this too. Dean says, "Bill, where's your evidence that it doesn't exist?" So my answer to Dean is, "Where's your evidence that it does exist?" Come
Right.
on, show me your evidence that it does exist. See, I'm not saying it don't exist. I'm saying, where's your evidence that it does exist? Okay? I'm not going to say there ain't people dropping from a virus or a flu symptom or something, because corona is another strand of flu from what I hear. And it very well could be, because we got so many lies going on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard so much about corona, and it could never not be possibly could be all of it at all. Okay? And I got a feeling, I mean, I already know we're being lied to, because when Trump said not to worry about your food, your shelves will be full. Well, we're seeing the opposite of what he said, ain't we?
Yeah, we are.
And when I
And
talked to a store worker that was in there, they told me openly, just straight out said, we're only getting partial orders. We order the food to keep the shelves full, but we're only receiving partial orders.
well, here's the problem, Bill, is with this problem, obviously they're limiting travel. They're almost cutting off travel for a lot of people. The primary people traveling on these big interstates from state to state are 18-wheeler truck drivers who deliver these items. And if they can't have the permission to travel to deliver their products to these stores, the the received shipments are going to be cut by damn near 80%.
Yeah, well, you've shut down manufacturers. They go home. They're not going to be manufacturing what's going to your stores now, are they?
Exactly.
Okay? See, people ain't used it. They're not stopping to think about what's in their face. Quit saying what's what and pay attention to what's really happening in your face in your community. Open your eyes and look around you. Start asking people if they know anybody's got corona, if it's a family member. Make somebody come up with some evidence that they actually have it. I'm not saying people ain't dropping by any means, okay? I'm saying I don't see any evidence, but what I do see evidence of is what I've known for a long time. Okay, and you can turn your back, you can call me nuts, you can say whatever you want. I don't care. Open your damn eyes and look around you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's that simple. Open your eyes. I don't care how scared you are. Open your eyes and pay attention. Because in
I'm really,
reality, I mean, this is bad. Go ahead, Haydon.
I'm really starting to think that this could be um, a very, very, very small issue that's been blown out of proportion. I mean, way out of proportion to suit the government's agenda,
Yeah.
because they know that this virus, coronavirus, you said it yourself, it is not a human virus. It is an animal virus that has to be genetically transmutated and engineered laboratorily to actually infect humans.
Well, see,
So,
we've had this go around. There's another story about a person who worked for a Bio 4 level lab here in America and was taking a virus, stole the virus out of that lab, and then it got to China, of course, and then it got dropped and released. I mean, we got so many stories floating around right now that I don't want to call which one what. We got Corona. Well, Corona is a strand of flu that hasn't been around since like 90 years ago was the last time they had it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got, well, it was engineered in a lab because it's an animal disease. Well, it
Right.
can't be possibly all of them. Then we have people saying it was engineered to go after the XY chromosome men. Okay? Then we got a woman saying more women are dropping dead than men. Okay? Do you follow what I'm telling you? We got story after story after story, but we have no evidence of nothing. But what we do have evidence of is what's happening right in our face. Oh, you there, Haydon? Okay, now I hear you.
Sorry about that. Anyhow, yeah, that's a great point, Bill. Yeah, it's designed to attack the male, but yet the reports coming out contrary, saying that more females are being affected by this. I don't see it. I
I
don't
don't
see it
see
at
it.
all.
No, I
I
don't
want.
see it. I don't know anybody that knows anybody. I don't see it. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not happening, but I don't see it. We have no way of traveling to these other countries to know. And but we are witnessing this great panic every day. When's the last time in the United States you've seen the president come up on TV every day of the week?
I don't see it. I mean, I don't know when it happens and when it doesn't happen because I don't have any. I don't watch the news or any of that, so I wouldn't know either. How I hear it from other people.
That's exactly right. And everybody that ever asks anybody that they know somebody's got corona, the answer is no, no, no. I'll tell you something else. The hospital's on lockdown, okay? Across this country, all the hospitals are on lockdown. Well, I figured out why they may be on lockdown, not because of corona, but because the people walked
Right.
in that because the people walked in and started going floor to floor in the hospital, they wouldn't find nobody wearing masks and suits because there
Right.
probably isn't no corona going on in that hospital. And they don't want people seeing that. So they lock it down. You can't get past the lobby. Okay?
Well, the thing is, yeah, you're right, Bill. You're right. The thing is, it doesn't really matter to me at this point whether or not the coronavirus is a real problem causing real deaths and sickness. I don't care about that anymore. The thing that I'm concerned about is the government is lying to us. They have an agenda, and they're using that agenda to fuck the economy, to put people out of work, to cause panic and terror all over the country, to
Yes.
take away travel, to lock down states, lock down the borders, lock down cities.
Well,
Crime rates are going to go up. It's going to be fucked.
you know how bad they censored the internet in China? Well,
Bad.
see, that's something they would be doing here in America then. That's something they would be doing everywhere. That's part of the NWO plan. Okay, so you think about this. This could literally lead us right into World War III too. Because they'll sit and purposely point fingers at each other, knowing that they're all working together, and pit the people against the people, and so that we're all angry at each other and send us into a third world war and get all kinds of population reduction, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And, where's that America defending our freedom narrative? Where's that gone? If German troops are patrolling our streets, or they're over here for their so-called drills and their so-called practice, where's the protection of freedom in that? We have foreign forces
Yeah,
on our soils. Where's our troops to fight that off?
they
Why
won't
isn't
be here.
anybody questioning that?
You know why they won't be here? Because they'll be overseas pleasing other foreigners, like their foreigners are over here pleasing us. That's
Mm-hmm.
why. And as far as what Dean is saying in here, Dean, you believe what you want, okay? I don't care if you're sound asleep, then stay asleep. Don't interact in something you haven't ever looked into. Open your eyes and look around you, and if you don't want to do that, then that's your problem. It ain't mine.
Mm-hmm. I just, even if this happens relatively quickly and they go state to state, walking down the borders, military checkpoints in every part of the city, like they've already done in New York and some of those northeastern cities, I still think Dallas is going to be one of the last places that they attack because our city is big, but it's wide open. There's a lot of country land surrounding this
Oh yeah, well,
metropolitan area,
Texas,
so they're going to have a
Texas,
harder time.
yeah, Texas is a big state. Okay, that's no lie. Texas is a huge state,
Hmm.
and I was thinking of something else. January and February, this all started, right? And we
Hmm.
also had the incel rebellion stuff that I told you about come out of Texas, right?
Yeah.
And they even brought up the Patriot Act about being able to round people up under the Patriot Act. Then, right behind that, lo and behold, if we don't have a virus and a pandemic, lo and behold, if the schools they shut down and your president tells you not to worry about your grocery stores, that there'll be plenty of it, and you're seeing the exact opposite of what he said.
Right.
Okay?
Well,
And if that's not a red flag to you, then there's no help for you. Okay?
I'm um, I'm going to be taking a trip to the grocery store sometime, maybe 3 in the morning today or later on, just to see what the general condition is like. Because normally,
Well, the
2 in the morning.
Walmart in my town cut their hours back to 8:30 at night. They're shutting the doors at 8:30 at night.
Really?
Yes.
Well, these two 24-hour ones that I have close to my house, I'm going to check and see if they're still open for 24 hours. If they're not, that's a problem because if they're not open, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., those early morning hours are when the night shift workers are typically stocking the shelves for the next day.
Yeah.
If they're closing, that means workers are not stocking the shelves. And if they're not stocking the shelves, that means product is not coming in.
Yeah. It
That's
means
a problem.
that's correct. That's absolutely correct. See, this is what people better be fucking. I mean, sorry to the language here. I'm not saying we're going to go into World War III, but I'm saying the conditions are right that it could happen.
Hmm.
Okay? I'm saying that what they're doing, there's too many people saying this is the year they plan to officially bring in NWO. And with that, they're going to strip a whole lot of rights from people and your society, and the way it's going to be bigger than 9/11. That this
Hmm.
incident's going to put 9/11 to shame. Okay? Now, I've heard that, and when I look and I've done my studying and I've watched what's going on, and I've been looking into NWO for a long time now, and I'm telling you, what I'm seeing matches right up. And only, what's even crazier, Hayden?
What's that?
You have George Herbert Walker Bush, who came up on national TV and announced NWO to everybody and said they will
Hmm.
get it. You have Bill Clinton, you have Barack Obama, you have Henry Kissinger. You got high figures who's been telling you about NWO for years, and you still keep turning your back and denying it. It's
Right.
unreal how your very own leaders are up here telling you about it, and you want to call me a conspiracy theory because I rattled out my mouth what they rattled out their mouth, huh? You people, I
It's that,
mean, people like that have lost their minds. I mean, I don't know what to say.
it's this mentality, Bill, that we've been raised to believe that America is this perfect, all holy country, and our leaders would never do anything to harm us. Oh no, no, they wouldn't. The same people that put NWO in our face, who are at the top, those are the very same people that program us to believe that we're the greatest country on earth. We have all these freedoms that other countries don't have, and our government would never do a thing to harm its people.
Well, this is the problem. People want to put their trust and their faith and their life in the hands of psychopaths who
Hmm.
don't think like the normal person, who
Yeah.
has an agenda that they want because they are psychopaths. They actually believe they're gods. Okay? And we've done nothing about it for decade after decade after decade after decade after decade. We've literally done nothing about nothing. Okay? And then when your leaders are telling you this stuff and you're watching, you could clearly see that Trump lied to you. He said
Right.
the shelves would stay full in your stores to not be buying more than you need, and yet the shelves are empty, ain't they?
If they're locking down the borders and people can't travel, that means the truck drivers who are delivering the products to begin with can't travel.
Yeah, unless they
So
have a
there's
special permit and they're only allowed so much through. You know, for years, Willie Nelson, the country singer, was
uh-huh.
fighting for the farmers' rights.
Right.
Now, with him fighting for the farmers' rights, okay, you think about it. I witnessed this, and I know this is factual. There's no lies here. The government took over the farms.
Mm-hmm.
They shut farms down and paid farmers to not grow crops.
Right.
Then they turned around and controlled what farms they allowed to stay open and told them exactly what they're allowed to grow and how much of it. That is called man-made food shortage, people.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what that's called. I mean, you know, this stuff's been going on a long time, little baby step after little baby step. And now here we are. They want to bring in they would officially want to bring in the conspiracy theory that came out your leader's mouth before it ever come out mine, okay, that you all turn your back to the people who are turning their
Yeah.
backs, okay? I'm not talking to everybody when I say that. Okay,
Right.
so, but to the people who are turning their backs, the people who haven't looked into stuff, and the people who want to disbelieve it are about to get a royal slap in the face. I
Yes, they
mean,
are.
and the other thing is this, you can be all stocked up, but I'll tell you what, when you're locked in your homes on lockdown and you can't go nowhere and your shelves are empty for food, and maybe you got a whole bunch of food you already stocked up. Well, what's to say after everybody's on lockdown or martial law that they don't have military going door to door checking your home to see how much food you got? And that
Right.
you only be allowed to have so much. And if you have more than you're supposed to have, they will take the food away. And if you try to fight them, they'll take you away.
They'll take you away. They'll kill you, or they'll take you away. I'd rather them kill me, but hey.
You know, I
Um.
mean, don't say this shit can't happen because that's how it's allowed to happen. It's allowed to happen by people turning their backs and saying, "Oh, it'll never happen. Not in my country. I'm in the land of the free."
You know who has the most responsibility right now, Bill? And I hate to say this, but it's true. The
Uh,
law enforcement and the military. They have the responsibility. They're the people out of all people who should be waking up, but they're the last who will be waking up because they are the control arm to the elite's agenda. The elites cannot carry out their agenda unless they get the law enforcement and military to do it for them. Because when the people fight back and realize that this is all a crock of shit, who's going to be there to stop us, imprison us, and kill us? It's going to be the law enforcement.
well, but
It's going to be the military.
exactly,
And
and you know something else. When people say, "Oh, I'm just carried away," well, for
no,
the people who don't know what martial law is, you already witnessed it. California would technically be under martial law because that's what martial law is locking people down, controlling everything you ever do, like 1984 that they put in your face. Okay?
yeah,
Orwellian 1984 right in your face. This is what martial law is. And they're doing baby steps and bringing it in right under your nose.
yep,
That's
they
why
are.
California's locked down. That's why New York, the entire state will be locked down in a couple of days. And that's why Colorado's, our governor's already said he's considering locking Colorado down. When they
Well,
lock it down, they'll probably prevent you from leaving your city because you're locked down. You're not to
right,
be traveling.
yeah. And I feel bad for anybody living up in New York City because that fucker is locked. You are locked on the East Coast by water. You are locked from the north. You are locked from the west,
Well,
and you are locked
Jason
from the south.
Burnless announced, and I already knew that when it came into America, according to them, it came in California, Washington, New York, and Florida.
Uh
And
huh.
what we're witnessing right now is California is under lockdown. Okay, New York's under lockdown. Now all we got to do is get Florida under lockdown and Washington under lockdown. Okay, and now we've secured the borders from Mexico and Canada today. We sure did.
Yeah.
Trump announced that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they're slowly locking you down in your own country and with
Yeah.
no evidence because we haven't got no evidence saying it's not real. and we have no evidence saying it is real.
Even if it was real, Bill, I still think if we wanted to wake up, if the American people really wanted to wake up and see what the hell was going on around them, even if the virus was a real problem, who gives a shit? We'll fight through it. You know, don't take our rights away. We're not going to put up with this shit. If all Americans decided to collectively turn the damn TV off, quit watching the news, quit giving into the fear mongering, quit giving into these empty words that come out of the president's mouth, quit giving into the military, quit giving into the law enforcement, we might be able to do something about it. But nobody wants to do that.
No, well, it's just like in the Manosphere, Hayden. No, all these men going through the same problems, rather than come together and get to know each other and work together and look for solutions to the problem, and on a selective scale. Nope, we all want to compete against each other. We all want to throw each other underneath the bus, man. We want to keep the genders divided. We want to it's sort of like pouring a glass of water and pouring some salt in it, drinking it, and then complaining about you don't like salt water. And then the
Right,
next glass of water, you pour a glass of water, pour some salt in it, and come up and complain about you don't like salt water. Well, that's what's sort of like listening to people in the manosphere anymore. Because
right.
the social engineering in that area is so deep that people don't understand it. You and I talked about this once before
Yeah,
about the words that people are using. Well, but that's just the way it is. It doesn't matter. Wrong is wrong. I mean,
yes.
we are not commodities. Okay? This crap that people are talking about the sexual market value and all that crap. No, we're not commodities. Well, that's just the way it is. No, that's not the way it will. Look around you. Well, that doesn't make you right. You can't complain
Hmm.
about not being able to get somebody in your life in a long term commitment when you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, yep. That's a big problem.
And now here we are, and I think the dating scene should be the last thing on anybody's mind right now.
It is.
Why
I,
would
I,
you be worried about the dating scene when you may not be alive if you keep this going?
I'm not worried one bit about TFL, and everybody listening in the chat should not be worried one bit about not having a wife, not having a kids. As a matter of fact, to the contrary, Bill, I would say you should be very damn grateful at this point in time if you don't have kids or a wife, because
Yeah,
any extra savings, any extra money that you have, um, I mean, to any end that you're able to actually go out and spend that money for food and for extra resources, be damn thankful for that. Because I'll tell you right now, I am damn thankful at this given moment
yeah.
that I do not have a wife or children to take care of. Because if I did, I tell you right now, Bill, I'd be under a lot of stress.
Yeah, well, and I got Dean in here says that Steve said the dating scene will change now, and that
No, no,
the women will run to the men. Okay, how's
nope,
that going to work when you're locked out in your home, huh?
nope.
How
This
is
is
that
one
going to
thing.
work? How are they going to run to you when you're locked down?
Well, first, yeah, first made great points. I was listening to the Steve that he to the stream that he had with Steve and SBO today. He said TFL, if anything, is going to get worse during this time because restaurants are shut down. So one of the number one avenues for going on a date is closed. If you can't meet up online with anybody, if that's your avenue of choice, that's shut down. You know, um, a lot of these different public avenues and places that people go to meet, to go on dates or to collaborate are being closed. And if people are quarantined in their houses all day, you can't go out and date anyway. So you're going to be forced into loneliness anyhow.
Yeah, correct. That's exactly it, and I'm not gonna, I just know from my research and watching and paying attention, and believe me, I've been following everything that's going on with this Corona thing, and my gut screamed from day one that this was a big fraud, okay? But
Hmm.
as this is progressing, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing
Hmm.
what I thought I would be dead before it ever hit. I've had people tell me, I talked to Warren today. Him and I were on the phone for a couple hours, and it's like I told Warren, man, even with my bad health and I ain't got long left, I thought I'd be dead and gone. And a lot of people, even Warren, thought, well, we'd be dead and gone before this stuff happens, but not no more. Warren don't think that no more now. Warren sees the same thing
Yeah.
I see. Warren actually agrees with me. He sees the thing, same thing I'm seeing. He's not scared. He's not worried about the virus. He's
No,
worried about what he's seeing coming down because he realizes this is probably the beginning of the end of the United States.
I agree.
That's why they're telling you,
Absolutely.
that's why you're hearing reports about it being bigger than 9/11. Think about it. All of these countries' governments that are doing this are all in bed together. Guaranteed they are. And we're following suit. All of them are doing the same thing, locking their people down.
Right.
And the United States is bigger, so of course they're going to, and we're armed. So they do it in baby steps so that we accept our own enslavement.
Yep.
You know?
That's very true.
And the only way people could ever stop any of this is to rise up and do what they're refusing to do. You got to stop throwing each other into the bus. You got to stop. That's what the division was all about. The division that we're seeing amongst races, amongst genders, amongst everybody, okay? And the mentality of competing against each other, it's what it was ever always about. Because by doing that, people would never rise together because they're too busy hating on each other.
Yeah. That's exactly it, Bill.
And so here we are, man, 2020, and it looks like I may actually be around before I die to witness all this crap.
Hey, Bill, we're live right now, right?
Yes, we are.
Well, I'll let you in on the fact that YouTube is censoring the stream because I cannot pull it up on my YouTube right now. So
You
from my phone, the YouTube has censored your stream. I can't access it. I can't access the chat.
Oh, is that why one of my numbers are so low the last couple of days talking about
Yep.
this topic?
Yep.
Because they're
How many?
shutting me, they're censoring me so people don't see what I'm talking about. Well,
And
of course they would.
they censored your last stream too.
Yeah. That would happen because I'm on top of truths again that people don't want to hear.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
that's the only difference between me and like Steve Hoka. Don't get me wrong, I like Steve Hoka. He tells lots of truth, but I don't play into the social engineering. I tell you, there's no such thing as sexual market value. I tell you that we are not commodities on a market that our success is based on materialistic items and how much we weigh in order for a woman to be in your life. I don't buy into that crap because it's all social engineering.
Hmm.
We're not okay, we're not in a situation where it's supply and demand. We're not materialistic items, we're human beings.
Yeah.
But the dating seems the last thing anybody should be worrying about right now. That's for damn sure.
Yes, it is. It's the very last thing people should be worried about. And Colorado is another interesting um, place for them to lock down
Well,
before or
that
after
is
New
the
York.
well, Colorado is actually the NWO state because
Yeah.
in the NWO plans, when it's all said and done, your leader, your president, or whoever's in charge, okay, at that moment, it's going to be based out of Colorado.
Yeah.
It will no longer be Maryland, Washington D.C. It will be out of Colorado.
Yeah. And that Colorado is a mountain locked state. A lot of these small towns in Colorado, if they get locked down, they're over. I mean, I've visited a lot of these small towns in Colorado. They are completely mountain locked. A lot of
Yeah,
people that don't travel to Colorado frequently, they don't know some of these towns even exists. They're off the map. They're off the grid. They are mountain locked. You have to actually go there to know that it exists. And if those get locked down, there's no way anybody in those small Colorado towns are getting out
no.
ever.
Well, if they get locked, well, what's funny? Monty Graph come up yesterday, and he was talking about Colorado. The governor announced it in the next couple of days. He's probably be locking Colorado down. And Monty Graph was looking and found that all these places that were going to be locked down. That there was two ski resorts, and now I'd have to say wait till they're locked down and then check. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because he was showing that there's going to possibly be 2 ski resorts that'll still be open when the entire rest of the state is locked down. Now that's a possibility, but until it's a lockdown and then you call and find out if they're open is the only way I would do it because you know that once it's officially a lockdown, then places could close. That's the way I feel about that. So I don't think that was a very accurate. He could be accurate on it, but to me, it was a little too soon to make that call. I wouldn't want to make that call, you know. But the one thing's for sure, the governor did make an announcement. He was probably going to lock the state down in the next couple of days. We've watched California already be locked down, and now New
Mm-hmm.
York is going to be locked down. The entire state of New York, where this is how they do it, and you don't realize that it's martial law. And so they
Yeah.
do it in baby steps. That's why I said they'll do it in baby steps until they got this whole country locked down. And they'll bleed it on. Okay, so, well, we can't open the schools yet because we haven't got blah, blah, blah done. We can't do this because we ain't got blah, blah done. And they keep legging it on and legging it on. And,
Uh
under,
huh.
and we got to watch it because you're seeing words thrown around like, oh, this is the Chinese virus. This is the China virus, okay? And this is what worries me here because they could deliberately start pointing fingers at each other at the show, like Hollywood.
Right.
The government's all in bed together and they start purposely pretending to be against each other and pointing
Yes.
fingers at each other when they're really not against each other. And then they pit our people against their people and send us into World War III.
Right.
I don't want that to happen, but you got to be optimistic and know that it could. Not that it will, but it very well could because what are they doing? They're crashing the economies of every single freaking spot that this is in. Look at for the facts. If you're closing businesses and it's
Yep.
getting worse, then you close some more. Then you close some more. And wouldn't that be why they said there can be no evictions? Wouldn't that be
Right.
why there would be no foreclosures?
Yeah, Bill. You're not going to be evicted. That's a good thing. But hey, here's the catch. You're not even going to be able to get out of your damn house.
Yeah, and then if they decided they wanted to round people up, well, by golly, they know where to go to get you, don't they?
And this is a critique that I have against something that First said. He said in a stream with Steve that he doesn't think that this is an agenda because he said I find it hard to believe that China would be in bed with the U.S. and all these other countries. But if that was the case, why the hell does the United Nations exist?
Yes, exactly, exactly. See, that's this it. United Nations was originally so all the leaders across the world could come together and there would never be another war. That is
Mm.
the snake oil they sold you when they opened the United Nations. Okay? These people are in bed together and working together behind your back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the end of the story. That's literally what it is. It's no accident that we're seeing the exact same things happen in all of these countries. Now, is China climbing out of blah, 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 and they're at the peak and it's over for them and they're not seeing no more cases? And maybe it's true. And then again, maybe it's just like, don't worry about the food on your shelves, guys, because we got plenty of it. Yeah, we got plenty of shelves being empty every day, don't we? We got
Yeah.
partial orders being delivered to stores who ordered this much and they're only getting part of that order delivered to them.
Yep.
And it all happened at the same time. That's not no damn accident.
See, Bill, even if these stores, the big distributors, Costco, Walmart, Target, you name it, even if they were getting 95 or 90% of the original return shipments to restock the stores, that's still a big issue because if you add up if you add up the 10% deficit over a long period of time, say 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, eventually the stores are going to run out. So even if you're getting close to 95% of a restock from the shipments, over time, that 10% deficit is going to pile up.
Well,
And eventually the stores are going to run out.
you know what else? Monty Graff brought this up on Reddit, and he was correct. He talked about what is that, the DPG?
Mm-hmm.
okay? And he talked about the United States' national debt, okay? Then he went from country to country reading the national debt, okay, of all the countries that are affected. China's further in debt than we are,
Yeah, they are.
okay? All of these countries are so far in debt that the people could never, ever, ever come out of that debt. And when you studied the monetary system, which is the first thing I studied, the money across our globe was designed to fail. It was a debt based currency.
Right.
Okay? They're at a point globally they cannot recover from the debt that was created deliberately.
Oh,
Okay? So, no, this would be here you are, man. We got a global reset, don't we? Uh huh. And now you got a
yeah.
cashless society, and you probably have a whole bunch of stuff that's no longer allowed. Your freedom of speech will be gone. Your Second Amendment, well, that won't be hard. All of you people that own guns, you registered your gun because you wanted to buy one. Well, they know right where your address is. They know right who you are. They'll be coming for your guns under the state of emergency, just like they did during Hurricane Trina.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking in the YouTube, and I notice I can only see your stream when I actually go to your channel.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm never going to be on the front line. That's called
Hmm.
no, no, they're not putting me up front.
Yeah, but when you look on the channel list of the subscriptions you have, I can't see your stream. So you actually anybody who wants to watch your stream actually has to physically click on your channel and see if there's anything live. And obviously, most people don't do that. They just look for the subscription notification on their phone. So it makes sense why only 15 people are watching right now. There'll probably be
and not
40,
and
close
not
to
even
50.
that. Of course, now it's dropped to 10 again. Now it's back to 16. You see how that works?
Yeah,
As fast as I looked at 10, it changed back to 16.
yeah,
Okay,
don't. Yeah, that's there's something wrong there.
that's
But
called censorship. Okay, that's what that is.
yep. Um, I guess we're just gonna have to continue to see. One thing I wanted to mention too, Bill, is I got a buddy. He delivers and receives our packages from FedEx, or
Right.
he's the FedEx driver that delivers our packages to our warehouse. He's pretty awake too. Me and him have some pretty deep discussions whenever the workday is closing down, and he was telling me. Um, so this you were talking about that book, the Eyes of the Darkness. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
We were talking about how the Simpsons predicted this. You know, they had that episode. Oh, there's going to be this bear virus going around making people sick, so they predicted that in the Simpsons. But
Yeah.
he mentioned to me that in the movie The Purge. I don't know if you've ever heard of that movie before.
Yes, I know about
Yeah.
all the purges that's going to be
Yeah.
that's going to become
So
a reality.
I can't remember which movie it was, but there's a scene in one of the movies, The Purge, where right before the killing and all the action starts, they show the date on the screen. And guess what that date was?
2020.
3/20/2020.
There
Today.
you there you go. There you
He
go in
told me that.
2020. Yeah. And I that don't surprise me at all. The reality is not only this was told to you, but guess what else I found out? I haven't dug into it, but I would encourage anybody to dig into it. In 2018, it was either 17 or 18, in a hotel in New York, Barack Obama, okay, Trump, Bill Clinton, your elitist, and George Bush, okay, met at this hotel, and they had a rehearsal of
Mm-hmm.
of a pandemic.
Yep. How do you rehearse a pandemic, Bill?
Tell me about it. Uh huh.
How do you rehearse a pandemic? Now you can rehearse a plandemic, but you cannot rehearse a pandemic. How does that happen? It's not a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence, None of this is. That's why I said, man, you mean you can't even step outside your home and walk in a store and talk to some people in a store who do the orders and find out what's going on? I mean, what, you're afraid to? That's what it comes down to. I mean, I'm sorry, it doesn't match what Trump fed you, does it?
Bill, I wouldn't be surprised if they, um, assuming that this martial law takes effect within, I mean, they're already doing it within New York in the next couple of days. But if it were to start really ramping up in all the big cities here in America within a month or so, and they had the military on the streets, I'm willing to bet you that the military would not be dressed in military uniform. They would be disguised in social services uniforms, like the law enforcement use. They would be
Regular street clothes.
regular street clothes, social service protectant um, uniforms with a pistol on their hip. I don't think, I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I don't think you're going to see these Black Hawk Down 50 caliber convoy jeeps with fully fully armored, soldiers running up and down the streets, patrolling the neighborhoods with machine guns at their hip, fully dressed in combat uniform. I don't think we're going to see that because these elites, they're not stupid. They know what they're doing. They know that if the people see military and machine guns on their streets overnight, people are going to immediately know
Oh
that
yeah,
there's
exactly.
something wrong. This is bullshit.
No, Hayden, you're right on point. You're right on point. Okay. Why do you think I said no? They're going to do this in baby steps,
But
and you
Bill, I
have
mean,
to be
even
aware.
even the people who are still quote unquote asleep and don't really pay attention to this new world order agenda, if they see machine guns and fully uniformed combat veterans patrolling the streets, they're going to tell themselves this shit's not right. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Well, this is just it. People in this country have the ability to open their eyes and pay attention to what's going on in their town or their community.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you don't want to pay attention, it's nobody's fault but your own. Okay. And if you want to turn your back to what's going on, say, oh no, and then it happens, you have nothing to complain about. You brought it onto yourself because you were too stubborn, too bullheaded to open your eyes and be honest with your own self. That's all
I
it
mean,
comes down to.
I don't know what they're going to do if if they shut the grocery stores down because supply is way too low and people can't travel anyhow. I mean, there's going to be a percentage of the population who can live on a fast food diet, just a drive-through diet. That can work, but the problem is,
When you're
if
not working,
transport,
if you're not working, how long will your money last for the average American?
most cannot. Even those with a relatively decent amount of savings, who are in a very lucky spot, such as myself, still, I mean, it's a ticking time bomb. Eventually, you're going to run out at some point. So people are, I could assume that people are going to be probably breaking their lease, moving back in with family. You're going to start to see lots of families, living multi-generational to try to help each other out, which is
Well,
not a bad
my
thing.
my question is, will they be allowed to
Exactly. That's
once
that's what
under
scares me.
lockdown? Yeah, will you be allowed? Let's say you live in Colorado and you got family in Iowa or Nebraska,
Right.
okay, or even Wyoming, okay, and you want to go be with your family now when you're under lockdown. Will you be allowed to?
Right. Yeah. If you live in, let's say, South Fork or Grand Junction, Colorado, and you're trying to go visit family up in Cleveland where Steve lives or wherever, you're mountain locked in by the military. You're not going anywhere. You are fucked.
Well, that's just
I hate to
it.
say it,
I don't know.
but
I don't know for sure how bad this is going to get, but what I'm seeing tells me, I mean, they're already conditioning you to be under martial law by locking you down. Okay, that
well,
is martial law within itself. So you can't say that we're not going under martial law when, well, I can name 3 states that are going to be under complete lockdown. That's martial law in your face.
yeah.
So
I
you say
mean,
we got the militia around here in the United States, right? But what
right?
people don't understand is the majority of their militia's been infiltrated.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're not
Yeah,
going to be rising up because they've been infiltrated.
they've been they've been yeah, they've been taken in by the evil forces, by the powers that be.
And
They
and
don't.
yeah, exactly. And they know that this country's armed, right?
Yeah.
But another report that I haven't looked into because I haven't been able to get out that people might want to look. But I had a report that any store that sold ammunition is completely out of ammunition across the whole country.
I have heard those same reports as well.
And I think it's something that somebody should go investigate because of the
Oh,
ammunition that's been pulled off the shelf and everywhere you can buy it across this country. You
uh-huh.
better damn well have a red flag in your hand. You better understand that means this shit is going to get serious.
Well, Bill, I'll tell you this. I mean, in the states where you can own a gun, be a gun owner, despite the anti-gun laws that are going around in this country, um, I don't care. I mean, you're going to try to get into a gunfight with a military agent who's got an AR-15, a Scar H. I mean, good
Well,
luck.
yeah, good
Good
luck.
luck.
Good luck on that one, man. They started, even though it would this all this takes time, but let's say just pay attention to one thing. Trump has kind of been caught lying to us, okay? Which
Mhm.
means he's following his orders just like all the puppets do, okay? He didn't accidentally get in that position. It's all a damn Hollywood act, a fucking script to show a movie right in your face that you're watching. And they all sit there and tell us these lies and tell us these lies. And you got to be able to catch them in their lies, okay? And if you can't catch them in their lies because you're not willing to pay attention,
Mhm.
you know, and he's already been caught in a lie. Don't worry about your stores. We got plenty of food. The shelves won't be empty. What are we seeing? Empty shelves all across America.
I'm
Okay.
seeing it. You could sit down and sleep in these shelves. They're so empty.
And this right here, I mean, what else do you got to tell people to get? I mean, even when their shelves are going empty, they're looking for excuses to go around it.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't know. Um, I don't know what people are thinking. I don't know what goes through their heads. Um, I mean, I'll try to have a discussion about this with my parents later on if I get the chance, just to kind of pick their brains and get their thoughts. But I just don't. I don't like the direction it's going, Bill. I mean, there's so many angles of discussion, and there's so many different ways um, that they're implementing this. That it's a multifaceted agenda. They're not implementing this agenda from one avenue, because if they only implemented it from one avenue, people would catch on to it.
Yes, they would. People would catch on to it if they did that. But see, what they've done is they've brought this in. This virus has actually released, according to what I'm hearing, in
Mhm.
December. In December, and that we knew, and that our government knew about it back in December, and that we had our first case in January, and nobody was told.
Yeah, nobody was told.
Yeah, and our governments do not tell us truth. And if you believe your government's telling you truth, you really need to go put your head in some water and wake the hell up.
Bill, we've had countless breakouts of the common cold and the common flu. I mean, just in my lifetime, and nobody ever panicked. Nobody
No,
ever
nobody panics.
stormed the stores, and
And every year you have free. What? I'll just throw a number out there. Every year we have 100 people, maybe a couple hundred people in the United States that die from the flu. Elderly
yes,
people, what have you, who die from the flu. Okay, this has been known
right.
forever. Well,
Hmm.
California had 40 cases of the invisible bug. Okay,
Yep.
and they locked down a whole state.
What the hell is that?
I mean, think about it. California has 40 cases of corona, and there's millions of people in the state of California. And because 40 people died, they locked down the entire state. But any other year, 40 people died from the flu. We done nothing about. We never locked down a state. We didn't shut down businesses.
Exactly. And the people at the top, the powers that be, I mean, the common question a lot of people have concerning this agenda is, well, doesn't it kind of defeat the powers that be's purpose to shut down all these businesses and stop revenue? No, it doesn't
No,
bother them at all. They've got
no.
their money. They print the damn fuckers.
I
They
mean,
print the
well,
damn money.
that's it. The bankers. I mean, people don't understand. The Federal Reserve has always been run by the Rothschilds. It's never been part of the government. Never.
Mhm.
Okay. Current, and they want a cashless society. What a better time to do it than when every single country is so far in debt they couldn't get out of it, and then if they tried. Just like I said, I studied the monetary system. That was one of the very first things I studied, okay, when I first come up online, was the
Mhm.
monetary system. And people just oblivious don't understand it. Worldwide monetary system, worldwide, doesn't matter if it's the pound, if it's the euro. It's all been designed to be a debt currency to put every nation in debt. And that's exactly what they've done.
You know, Bill, I got a paper in the mail the other day. Um, Unusual to me. I didn't think anything of it at first, and I actually have it right in front of me as we speak. And I want to get your opinion on it because the more I think about it, and I start to add two and two together, um, this is a little bit worrisome to me because I've never seen one of these before. This is a letter I got in the mail yesterday from my apartment. This is the United States 2020 census from the U.S. Census Bureau concerning how many people. I'll just read it. Dear resident, this is your invitation to respond to the 2020 census. We need your help to count everyone in the United States by providing basic information about all adults, children, and babies living or staying at this address. And then it goes down the line, blah, blah, blah. Now, I didn't think anything of that at first, Bill.
Well,
I
guess
just
what?
thought, oh,
Guess
maybe
what?
this is just one of those papers that, all adults have to fill out once a year. But the more I read it and think about why the hell would they want to know that? Why would they want to know who I'm living with?
Guess what I
And I
got?
and I
Guess what I got in my hand?
what is it?
It's the same thing you got.
Same shit, right?
Yep.
And I'm thinking to myself, they want to take inventory of who's living where so that when they're ready to lock this shit down, they have everything they need.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's exactly it. Let's count the heads and everybody be willingly because it's a law, It says it right
Mm-hmm.
on. It says it right on there that it's a law. It's a man-made rule. You have to reply to it. Don't you break that man-made rule.
I mean, I've never seen one of these papers before. I've never seen it with my parents. I've never seen them deal with it. I don't know what this is all about. I can only do. I
It's
mean,
been like probably a decade ago now that I got one of these in the mail.
hmm
Okay, and it's been at least that long since I've had one. And now here I am holding another one that came in the mail, and then I got a second one in the mail a couple of days later. Okay, a shorter envelope from the census. So they are literally trying to count all the heads in America at the same time they're doing this. And there's only one reason they would do that because they want to know how many people are where, and you're going to put your information on it so they know where you're at. It helps them to be, well, you know. And then there's the fact that there's that list. I've known about this for a long time that they have tag colors for lists, and certain people are on that list to be rounded up. Well, this would be a good time to round them people up when you got them all locked down.
yeah, that is, and it fits right in with the anti-gun law agenda. If people don't have guns to fight back to at least a tiny bit of degree, when those officers and those military agents
You mean when them
bust down their
when the order
yeah.
followers that don't realize when it's all said and done they're going to be in the same shape as everybody else and they'll be killed because
Mm.
military is nothing but useless pawns. for the elite.
That's what they are. They're the control arm for the agendas. It's not about bombing jihadis and protecting America from the boogeyman that lives somewhere. Oh yeah, somewhere in that Middle East area over there. Yeah, those guys. I don't buy that, Bill. I don't buy this
It's
idea.
never been about that. It's just like the president and everybody now. Oh, we're concerned about your health. We want
No,
to
you're
make sure
not.
that you're as safe as you can be because we're
Yeah,
concerned about your health. Meanwhile, they built concentration camps all over this country.
yeah.
Well,
We're
where do you
concerned
think
about
you're
your
going to go?
health.
We need to put you over here for your health. And then they kill you.
Yeah,
That's
we're
better for
concerned
your
about
health.
your.
Yeah, it's better for your health if we kill you.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. We're
don't think
concerned
they
about your
won't.
health.
Yeah. Don't think they won't kill you. The order followers will have no problem pulling the trigger on you,
No, they won't.
especially if they're a military from another land that we
Yes.
already bombed.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry about your health. Just drop into your local medical facility and take this COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. That's one thing I'll say to anybody in the chat. I mean, if they don't implement martial law, military on the streets, locking down borders and whatnot, if this place still remains relatively somewhat normal, like you can still go to the grocery stores and buy shit for the next several months, what I would tell people is right now, to you in the chat, to your family members, to your friends, your loved ones, your relatives,
Yeah.
do not fucking get a vaccine if they make a COVID-19
Oh
vaccine. It's in the
yeah.
works. Do
Uh,
not fucking get that.
well, you know what? By the time that gets here, it could be mandatory and military forced on you, huh? Okay. And then the other thing that we could say with this, he says, Bill, do you think Americans would put up with foreign military? Oh, hell yeah. You can't stand together on YouTube in the manosphere. You're throwing each other into the bus. It's all about your own selfish self. What did we see in the stores? Oh, that's right. We were fighting over products. That's right. We'll beat the shit out of that customer just to get the one thing that they took off the shelf that we want.
Yeah.
Okay? So don't tell me that you're going to stand up to a foreign military. No, you're not. This is
Nope.
not the land of the brave. This is the land of the cowards. I mean, I'm sorry. The illusion is you're in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Well, you've never been in the land of the free. You haven't woke up yet. You're still asleep. And you're definitely not in the land of the brave.
Well, Bill, I just don't buy this bullshit idea that we've got this big battle going on over in the Middle East and we're fighting for our freedom and we can't take the troops back home. We can't bring the troops back home because the minute we bring the troops back home, the fucking Middle East people are gonna nuke and bomb the shit out of us.
Oh,
No, I don't buy that.
that's a crock of crap.
Who comes up with this idea?
It's called fear mongering. It's called propaganda, which they made legal.
Hmm.
Legally, they get to lie to you all the time on your television set and on your radio and in your newspapers and in your magazines. There ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Yep. Bill, what would you do? I'm gonna ask you personally. If you were in that scenario, that I mean, it is very well possible where you got military at your door and they're issuing mandatory vaccines. And if you don't take that vaccine, you're either sent to prison or killed on the
Well, you
spot.
take,
What, what,
yeah,
what would you do?
maybe you're taken to a FEMA camp,
Maybe you're taken to
where
a
you'd
FEMA
be
camp.
caught and
I mean,
killed afterwards, right? What will I do? Well, if the military shows up on my door, I'm going down fighting, man. I'll probably be dead right there and then, but I'm going down fighting.
I
Okay?
probably would be too.
Because I'm not going to die a coward on my knees. I'm not going to let them load me up in the back of a truck and take me off to a FEMA camp where they're going to kill me anyhow. I'll just get it over with. That's how that'll work.
I would just I don't have guns, Bill. I don't.
Because you
I
can
don't. I
only
don't.
kill me once. Okay? That's the way I look at it. You can only kill me once. Okay? So, and
Yeah.
I'm already dying. I'm already slowly dying anyhow. I got emphysema. I got heart disease. My back is out. Okay? I don't have much longer to live anyhow. So why am I going to really care? You know, I actually care.
Right,
I actually care about everybody. I always have, and I only want what's right for everybody. But man, the grief I get from people just because I care, I might have a moral compass. How dare
right.
me? I mean, I get all kinds of grief from people because of what I say. But myself is, what are you going to do about this? Okay. I see you, Steve. Okay. What about my son? Well, Steve, what about my son? You don't think this ain't going to affect him too? Oh,
Right.
yeah. It's going to affect him quite well, like everybody else.
I don't know. I mean, there's a big part of me, Bill, that just says, I would hope to God that this was all just some big fucking joke and that there's really no problem to be worried about. But
Oh, God.
I I
I'm
I
so
can't
on board with you with that. I
I
really
I
am.
I I can't look at reality. I can't look at the landlocked problems. I can't look at, borders being locked down. People can't travel. I can't look at the thousands upon thousands of people losing their jobs, losing their
No,
incomes with
well,
no.
Steve. Now Steve's asking me if I'd be executing my kid. Okay, my son. No, I would never execute my son. You don't understand. The reality is the reality. We're not going to turn this around. If the military shows up at my door with ill intentions, I'm not going to just go along to go along. Okay? I mean, that's just the way it is. I'm not going to go along to go along with them.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Bill. I mean, that's your mentality. I just don't know that that could be a lot of other people's mentality because let's face it. I mean, the vast majority of people, 99.999% of people here in America, have never been faced with a um, death at their doorstep, life or death situation that could possibly happen if military shows up to somebody's door and they're faced with a mandatory vaccination or prison or death. A lot of
Well, if
people,
they're round,
honestly, they're
if they round people up like myself who have spoke up for years, because don't forget this, I had military outside my door several
hmm
years back. That's no lie.
hmm
That's fact. Okay. I had feds at my door and the loss of a job from what I'm doing. Now, if that list exists for people that they don't want because we spoke up against them, and they start rounding them up, I mean, it may not be the shot. The military may come to my door to haul me off to a FEMA camp, right? Well,
right.
what do you think? I'm just going to willingly go along? No, I'm
I don't
not.
know, Bill. Just I think there's a lot of people out there that would freeze in the instance that would actually happen and hit them right in the face in real life. I want to sit here and believe that I would have the heroic courage to let that military officer just two shots to the leg, two shots to the chest, and one in the head, and just take me out. But I mean, until you're actually in that situation, a lot of people don't have a fucking clue in hell how they're going to react. They
I
they don't
don't,
know.
no, I don't. I would not want to tell you how you're going to react because I'll tell you, when I was driving yellow cab, I drove it and worked on our cabs, and I would drive the cab as well, right?
Uh
And
huh.
I always had a policy I set in the back of my own mind that if anybody pulled a gun or something tried to rob me in the back seat, that I would floorboard that car and we would die together at 100 miles an hour, right?
Right.
Okay, so then the one day, like 3 years in, whatever it was, my ex actually rode with me, and I had a person pull a big old hunting knife and put it to the back of me and
Shit.
said you're going to give me your money, okay? And I didn't even do what I said I was going to do. I dunk slammed the freaking brakes on the fucking car, jumped out of the cab, went around to beat that fucker's ass, and he was out the other door running, yelling at me I was crazy. And then afterwards, I thought to myself, what the fuck did I just do?
Right.
That's not even what I told myself I would do. So, I don't want to tell anybody you're going to know what your reaction is because you could tell yourself you do this or that, but it
Right.
don't mean you will.
Yeah, you can talk a big game up to yourself and tell yourself that you're going to be, like they put it in the movies, you're going to be this heroic individual that's going to stand up to all adversity and all danger. But until you're actually faced with a dangerous scenario where you're going to die or go to prison if you don't abide by the rules, most people, I can't even speak for what I would do because I've never been in a situation like that. I don't know.
I agree.
I
I
I
totally
want to say,
agree.
I deep down want to say that I'd have the courage to just take the shot to the head and die right there, but I don't know. I really don't know. The
You
only thing
know,
I could say, I mean, you could visualize it. You can fantasize. You can visualize the scenario in your head and play it through your mind time and time again to try to get yourself mentally prepared for the possibility of something like that happening. But until it actually hits you in reality, you don't know how you're going to react.
now that I agree with Steve on. Most of the pro gun people are going to give in. Yep, I
Uh,
think that's what the majority of people will do. I
yeah,
think they'll just follow their orders and they can watch people round people up and they won't stand up. Nope, they'll just let them take you right on away. I've seen too much stuff already. I mean, I watched a video that was real life, man, years ago, and of course you won't find that kind of crap online no more. It was in a Russian prison, okay? There was only two guards, okay? One
yeah,
guard whipping the hell out of this guy, and they had like 30 people, 30 inmates out there, one at a time, taking them up and whipping them with a whip, okay?
yeah.
And there was like 30 of them. Why didn't they attack these two guards and put a stop to them? Nope, they stood in line and waited their turn.
It's because, I mean, every single one of them is in fear that, hey, if I step out of line and sprint and try to tackle this officer, he's gonna pull that gun on me. He's gonna shoot me in the leg, and then I'm gonna get tortured. I'm gonna get sent to a what do they call it?
FEMA camp.
Uh, the FEMA camp, or they're gonna lock me up inside a brazen bull and torture me horrendously until I die slowly. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just know that Steve has a point. I mean, it's probably going to be the pro gun people that would give in first. I mean,
I got a feeling you're right about that. I don't think many people are going to go for the guns. What people have guns, I think a percentage of them might go for the guns, but I think most of them won't. I mean, you people signed a piece of paper when you bought your gun. They know where you live, and they could just come to your door during a time of martial law, and they can come to your door in the military with intentions of beating the crap out of you. Give me your gun and go get the freaking. They might take your gun and still beat the crap out of you. And what are
yeah.
you going to do about it? I'll tell you what you're going to do about it. Nothing.
I mean,
But
this is
don't worry, it'll be for your own protection.
bullshit. Oh, bullshit.
I
I
know.
mean,
I just had to be a smart ass and say, but don't worry, it'll be for your own protection. Because
probably be a troll.
well, come on, Trump's up here. They're up here every day. Every day. I've never seen this. I've never seen this where the president comes up on national TV every day of the week. Okay? I've never seen that before. Never. And here it is. He's up on that.
Me neither.
He's up there live every single day, man. You can count on him being there to give you a report. And every day he steps it up one little bit, another little bit, another little bit. We have Homeland Security, FEMA, okay, and the CDC all involved in this.
Yeah.
This is the year that this is the official celebration year for them. The year they bring NWO in and do away with the old world order.
Well, you see these kinds of things. Um, uh, you just you try to put two and two together and reason that maybe this is part of some biblical prophecy plan, but I can't, I don't see the evidence to see that that's actually the case. You've got a lot of people who say that
I think it's a
2020,
yeah, I think it's a power grab.
there's people who believe that spring 2021 was supposed to be the official start of the 7 year tribulation, followed by 2028, the return of Christ. Now, that's all great to believe that that's how shit's going to really happen, but I don't see that. It could just be a big deception.
Yeah. Well, they talked about Agenda 21, that
Hmm.
was moved up to 2030, and I'm going, really? Really? Maybe they reported it was moved up to 2030 for the people who are aware of Agenda 21 to relax them.
Ah,
Okay? Think about it. Because this
yeah.
all matches, because when said and done, what do? They farm people. They closed all the small little dinky towns down by force, and they moved people into big cities where they could confine them.
Yes, Bill. If they can move everybody from small towns into big cities, I mean, we are fucked. It's over. It's. I mean, there's really at that point the easiest way out is suicide. But if you don't have a gun to kill yourself, if you can't go to the
Well,
store and buy some rope to hang yourself,
then you'll have
good
to be,
luck.
like my son. My son's into blades. You know,
Uh huh.
he's always been into collecting blades, and he's got anything from swords to big fucking knives to big this to the big that.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know, it's one of them situations. They're gonna come at him to take his shit, and he's gonna fucking know you're not, and he could end up right along with his dad,
Well,
gone
you know,
just
it's
because he stood up for himself.
it's going to be one of those situations where you're going to have to pull a kind of like the Japanese admirals used to do when they were in the face of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki fire bombings or atomic bombs. They took those katanas out of their holster and they stabbed themselves in the stomach. You know, that's how they used to commit suicide. That's kind of how it'd have to be if you didn't have guns or ropes. You'd have to grab a large kitchen knife and straight to the chest. But most people wouldn't have the courage to do that, Bill. I don't
No,
even know if I'd have the
no,
courage to do
I
that.
I agree with you on that. I mean, I don't know how people's gonna react when the time comes, because you can tell yourself you're gonna do something, and when shit hits the fan and it's in your face, you may
Hmm.
very well not do it. You could find yourself doing the very opposite because, whoa, never mind, never mind. Okay, yeah, I'm coming with you. Okay, yeah, take me to Camp Pima. Maybe Google Gaga will be playing it for some entertainment for you.
Fuck.
Okay, I
Um,
mean, this is just
it's
it's just
just.
absolute insanity. But I did see that video out of the Quad Cities with the military, right?
Uh
Outside
huh.
of the international airport, that's where they were at. And that would have been over in Illinois, because that's where
Right.
that airport's at, okay? But that's part of the Quad Cities. So I seen that, and then I watched what Jason Berman showed, all this military going into New York right as the lockdown was announced, okay, in a couple of days from now. So there's a second time I've seen military presence, and I don't want to scare people, but I'm telling you, man, you better be aware of what's going on right now. You better pay attention, because you've been lied to,
Yes, we have.
and you're
I think
being lied to every day.
Stephen First and a couple others were talking about this as well. I mean, TFL is going to be. I mean, as of right now, TFL is the least of our worries. I am damn happy to not have a wife and kids. The social isolation is going to really take a toll on a lot of these women, a lot of the so-called normies, or the guys who are still doing well in the dating scene if they don't already have a wife at home with them. That's going to affect them the most. TFLers are not going to really be affected. If anything, so on a psychological level, TFLers might actually be in a better position because there's something about knowing when other people are socially isolated the way you are. It kind of gives you a sense of comfort knowing that there's other people in the same boat as you. So the
Oh
social
yeah,
isolation, it doesn't bother TFLers.
I think I think
TFLers
it'll
can deal
bother
with
I
it.
think it'll bother the women the most.
It will.
Okay, because you think about the women who got a boyfriend, okay, guy she's running with right now that she wasn't going to keep anyhow. Well,
Yeah.
she's not going to be able to go see him because she's in lockdown. Okay,
Yeah.
now they're going to have to be lonely. Oh, darn, they'll have to be lonely. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but I mean, I see that happening. Okay, but I guess you might want to get ready for a massive TFL situation going on where men and women alike are living it now, huh? Because you're all
Yeah.
in lockdown.
Well, here's another thing too, Bill, and a lot of people haven't mentioned this as well. most of these women, they have Snapchat, and what they do, if it came down to it, most of these women would start opening up private Snapchats, premium Snapchats, selling naked pictures for 15, $20 a pop to these lonely, horny men who just want to have something to look at to jerk off to. And
Yeah.
they can take that 15, $20 a pop and they can take that money to whatever grocery stores or fast food restaurants are still open, and they can get food, they can get supplies, they can have their sugar daddies or their sugar hubbies to take care of them, and they can, work up a good sob story and cry and so, oh, I love you, honey. I need you so much right now. Can you please take care of me? And a lot of these lonely, horny, simp mangina men are gonna fall into it.
Oh yes, they sure
And
will.
so a lot of these women are still going to maintain a sense of social and financial stability because they have avenues of being able to market their bodies
Oh,
sexually to all these lonely, horny men,
they have
and they
avenues we don't got.
they don't give a shit if they lose their job. They can just open up a private snap and sell nude pictures to strange men that they don't know, and they can make 15, 20, sometimes even $30 a pop.
Well,
Because a lot of these men are so desperate, they're willing to pay that much money
well,
just to have a picture.
you know something else I heard. Of course, I got nothing to back it with, but I've heard this. Okay, and I'm not going to say it's true because I don't know, but I wouldn't put it past them that they're going to shut down the internet and they're going to shut down cell phones.
Well, if they do that, then I'm taking off.
You
I am
know,
taking off,
and
Bill.
I'm like, if they do shut the internet down, I think I know why they would do it because they would go through it and make it just like China's internet before they brought it back up.
I mean,
You think censorship's off the wall now? Oh, you wait to that. You'll see freedom of speech go out the door. You go up
yes,
online and you say anything publicly to anybody, and they'll fucking cops will fucking military will be at your door so fast your head will swim.
or they will. This is probably another alternative, Bill, is that they would shut down internet access for the public, but for the military agents, for the law enforcement, and for the powers that be, they will still have
Oh yes,
access to
that's
the internet.
correct. They won't shut themselves off. They'll just shut
No,
us the
they'll just
cattle
shut the
off.
public down. Yes.
Us the cattle will be without the internet, not them.
If they close internet down, because I use internet a lot here at my house, if they shut that down, I'm getting in my truck. I'm getting as much as I can get. I'm going to go visit my parents, and we're probably going to hightail it
Well,
because,
the question mark is that we don't know the order, okay? They may want and they may go, we got to wait this out because we're still on a waiting game. But if we
uh-huh.
see more and more states going into lockdown over the next month, okay, then you can bet your ass they'll have everybody in lockdown before they kill the internet.
Yeah.
They won't just shut the internet right away because that'd send up red flags. They would wait till they had everybody in lockdown. Now, that's my own opinion, okay?
Hmm.
And if they waited till they had everybody in lockdown and the borders closed and your exits out of town shut off, and you think you're going to run then, I think you're going to run into what you don't want to run into.
Nope, we don't. Nobody wants to run into this. People don't want this, Bill. These are real issues. This is not TFL.
No, this is
This
not.
this goes way beyond TFL. These are real problems. This is life or death.
It is. It actually is life or death. This is a matter of you either man up, woman up, and stand up and fight back, or lose everything you ever known.
It would all be so simple, Bill, if everybody turned the TV off and said, you know what? Fuck this. You know what? So what if this goddamn virus breaks out in this country? Let's grow a pair and let's fucking, let's tough it out. If people get sick, fuck it. If people die, fuck it. Let's tough it out. But you're not taking our damn rights away. We're still going to grocery shop. We're still going to run the businesses. We're still going to work. And we don't give a damn what the government says. But people won't do that.
No, no, they won't. People ain't brave enough to do that. That's why I said you're not in the land of the brave, man. This fucking illusion, this mirage you have about you live in America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I fucking wish you'd wake up because it's all a dream.
That's what George Carlin said. It's the American dream because you got to be asleep to believe it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's the thing about George Carlin. Towards the end, he actually told you real truth, and you all laughed at it.
Yeah, because they labeled him as a comedian.
Exactly. And you fell right down the rabbit hole when he told you real truth. You're all hee, ha. Okay, he's such a great comedian. Yeah.
Yeah, what's that? Russian vids. To quote Russian vids, lies in the media, truth in the music and movies. Yep. They put truth in the places that you wouldn't expect them to put truth, and they put lies in all the places that you would expect them to put the truth.
That's right. That's right. That's how they do it. This is how they've always done it. This is why I never put no faith in any president because once I woke up and realized what I realized, it didn't matter who your president was, they were already bought and sold or they wouldn't be there.
That's why voting has never meant anything to me. How do we know that our vote means anything at all? How do we not know that this is already scripted and pre-planned out? Who's going to be in office
Well, you know
as
what?
the puppet?
They've already scripted it because they put the people in front of you that they want you to choose from.
Exactly.
The people never chose the people to put in front of them. Look at Barack Obama. He come out of nowhere. Nobody even knew who he was.
Right.
Okay,
Nobody.
and a lot of the African Americans they ran up because his skin was black. Oh yeah, 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 and voted for him. And man, just like in Nazi Germany when Hitler got power, everybody loved Hitler. They were partying in
Hmm.
the streets and everything when he came into power. Well, here in America, we repeated the same scenario. When Obama got elected into office, everybody was on the street, whippee, yay! Okay, what did he do for you? Oh, that's right, he continued the agenda.
Yeah.
It's just sad, you know. And then they think Trump come in. Trump's a good guy. Yeah, he's a good guy down right off the child play. And you know, and I don't like to be that way, but in reality, you know, he's nothing more than a circle puppet. He's always been just like every one of them. If he freaking tried to do the right thing, they would take him out.
Yeah. I'm reading the chat. Steve Hoka said, "I wonder how the oh dude crowd would fare." You know, oh
Uh,
dude, you got to work on self improvement, dude. You
I
got to
bet
hit the
think.
gym, dude. Hey, guess
Yeah,
what?
there you go.
Guess what, asshole? The gyms are all closed.
Oh yeah, you got to self improve. What's that gonna do you now, huh? What is that gonna do you now?
The governor of New York, dumb truck in the chat says the governor of New York says he wants military in the streets now. Well, isn't that what's happening?
Well, yeah, they're already there. See, he wants military in the streets. There you go. Well, you know, that's just it, man. And don't think, I mean, and from what I've seen today, I think it's going to be CDC martial law. See, if Trump declares a state of emergency and mass martial law, the military from overseas can't come into our streets. But if the CDC calls for martial law and it's a CDC type of martial law, you get the blue helmets, people. You
Yeah.
know, and I saw that video today of fucking European. Matter of fact, Nicholas showed it to me. Okay, of German military here in the United States right now. Now ask yourself why, if we lock down the borders and we're not allowing no travel from Germany to America, why is Germany's military here in America right now? Can anybody please just answer that, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you're gonna have to. I don't have a fucking clue why that would go on. I mean, so much for protecting our freedom from foreigners. Even though technically a German could be an American, he's just a. Yeah, that's what they'll say, Bill. They'll say a German is just an American that never migrated.
Yeah. You know, and to all of the people out there, and this is only to the people who made this statement, okay? Thanking their military for protecting them.
Oh, come
I mean, you know how
on.
many times I see this type of crap going on Facebook? People writing a post saying, I'm thanking the military for protecting us and thank you for serving and
Oh,
protecting us.
God.
Okay? Well, where are they going to be now? I'll tell you where they're going to be overseas with some guns on some foreigners policing their streets.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a very movie like scenario, to think that we're gonna have German, Russian soldiers patrolling our streets. And you're the sad thing is you're still gonna have people who think, oh no, oh this is just, oh, I don't know what this is. Oh, it just must be what would they call it, Bill? They'd call it a Euro American coalition. Yeah, that's what they would probably call it, the Euro American coalition.
Oh, we're all getting together great, man. Can you tell, man? Look, the Germans and Russians and American, man, we're best friends. See, the military's on the streets, guys. Man, they're our friend.
Oh shit. Yeah, it's gonna get bad, Bill. I'm gonna continue to make runs. I'm probably gonna make a run to the grocery store just to get an update to see how things are looking, and if the shelves are running out of items, and I don't see them restocking them. Uh, I don't know. I mean, it's probably gonna have to be a fast food diet as long as they keep the fast food joints open. Probably gonna. I mean, if they still keep farms open around town, I could probably still.
I wonder if the fast food joints are getting partial deliveries too.
Um, I know there's a couple places a couple of different places, particularly Wendy's across town, has already shut down. Not all of them, but a few of them have. It's I mean, if you have to do what you have to do, Bill, I just would love to see the people, stand up and say, you know what, fuck this. The government's full of shit. We're not going to worry about this virus, even if it is real, even if people really do have this problem and it's contagious and it's causing people to get sick. It would be a hell of a lot better for the American people to just grow a sack, deal with it. If whoever dies, dies. Whoever gets sick, sick. We're not going to stop our, lives. We're going to still work. We're going to still produce. We're going to still do the same things that we've been doing, because a small percentage of death and sickness from this coronavirus is still a hell of a lot more preferable to fucking martial law.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I want all this to go away. I'm hoping, I want to be wrong. I really do. I'm not afraid to be wrong. I want to be wrong, okay?
I do too. Yeah.
But at the same token, I'm not going to ignore what I'm seeing. Okay, and I do understand what's being said, and I've been digging into this deep for the last freaking week, okay? And I'm telling you, what I'm seeing and what I've been digging into is a big eye opener, because it's exactly what I thought I'd be dead that I would never see. Well, I guess I didn't die quick enough. I'm going to see it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and it just all seems like a big nightmare coming to reality. It'd be nice to, um, wish that it was all just a dream and that you wake up one day and life is normal, and you got a girl sending you a call saying, "Hey, baby, let's go on a date tonight, and everything is great, and you got your job, and the bills are paid, and everything is right where it needs to be."
Well,
But
maybe
the
they
fact
got,
is,
yeah.
that just ain't reality. I mean,
Well,
I'd love to.
they moved in on the manosphere here a few years back, okay, and people didn't even
Yeah.
know they had, right? Until recently, okay? So, maybe not just Mr. Hulk, because I've already been targeted once. So maybe they have Mr. Hulk and myself's name on a list, and maybe some other people up here speaking out in the dating scene. Maybe their name's on a list. And maybe the incel people, you hateful incel people, the incel rebellion. Do you ever stop to think about this as part of this? And that they're going to be rounding up people from the manosphere because they're madder than hell at us about exposing TFL? I mean, they don't like it when people tell on them. They never have. And they want to punish the people who told the truth on them.
Yeah.
This has always played out through history. The people who told the truth were the ones that were prosecuted not only by the people while they were trying to tell the truth, calling them nuts and attacking them, but when it was all said and done, your governments freaking made sure rounded them people up.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat Tad Ghostal says 1/3 of Americans don't file. I'm assuming he means don't comply. Feds can't imprison 100 million people, which is, roughly a 1/3 of 100 million is, it totals up to about 330 million, which is what we've told the population in America
Well,
is.
they.
We don't even know that the American population even adds up to 330 million. If you type the numbers
No,
in,
we
it doesn't
don't
really
know
add
that.
up.
But they did have a list of colors, and I think it was red, blue, and yellow. Okay. And
Hmm.
the red people were on the list were the people, the first ones to be rounded up, and it would happen in the middle of the night just before they declared martial law, or right after. The blue
Well,
people would be rounded up next, and the yellow people would be left alone.
I'm not sure. I'm
Now,
not
I'm not
sure.
saying that's real, but I would not put it past them. I can guarantee you this, though. If there is a list of people they're going to round up, I guarantee you, man, Mr. Hulk and I are probably on the red list, okay?
Probably.
And they would be coming our way because we dared to become activists and we dared to speak the truth. How dare
Yeah.
you tell the truth in a world of liars?
Yeah.
You're a
And
domestic terrorist. You tell truth.
I mean, being in on some of these chats, they're probably willing to bet they probably put my ass in on that category too. I don't know. They're
They
not going to catch me. They're not going to catch me asleep at 1 or 2 in the morning. I'll tell you that. I stay up till 4 in the morning sometimes.
well, that's just it. I mean,
Hey,
I
is I
don't know
mean,
what to tell people other than be ready because almost anything
fuck.
could happen right now, and we can only hope that this blows over. That's all we can do.
I mean, I'm TFL, Bill. I can't keep my mouth shut about TFL. I refuse to keep my mouth shut about TFL.
Well,
I've lived it damn near my whole life. I know what it's like to be the fucking third wheel and the
Steve
fucking fifth wheel
Steve Hoke,
get-togethers.
Steve Hoke, and myself, we have a problem with keeping our mouth shut about TFL as well.
Hmm.
We've been speaking about this for a long time. Okay, and that I can honestly say, man. Out of all the people that have come and gone in the TFL movement that used to speak out, the two people that were here from the very beginning, myself and Steve,
Yep.
are still here.
Yeah. Y'all are.
Okay, Steve didn't run away. I know people give him slack for taking his videos down and blah blah
Oh,
blah.
bullshit.
Okay, I know people gave him slack for that, but you know what? He always came back and he never stopped.
Yep. That's true.
Okay, so they better give him credit where it's damn well due.
Yep.
Okay, just like myself, I've always been here. Okay, we haven't gone nowhere. Yeah, I know about Dwayne Holloway, but that guy threw us all under the bus, sadly. Okay, and he hasn't spoke about TFL since he threw everybody under the bus. So I don't
Yeah.
know what to say about him.
Yep. Bill. I mean, you and Steve were, all are the founding fathers of TFL. That's never going to change. I mean, a lot of people, especially in the MGTOW community, they come and they fucking go. They have their channels up for a while. They bitch and complain about women, and they're gone.
Yes.
You know what the thing is? A true MGTOWer doesn't make videos about MGTOW. A true MGTOWer is making videos about off-grid survival or camping or other shit that has nothing to do with women. The fact that most MGTOW channels are centered completely 100% around women, and that topic alone is proof that they are TFLers in denial. They're not true MGTOWers. True MGTOWers don't even know what the term MGTOW is. That's just their life. That's just the life they're living.
Yep. Steve says because there is no future, Bill. I will be on Mount Rushmore.
Hey, oh, I mean, it's.
I
Well, I
know,
mean,
I know what you're saying about MGTOW. I made this call many years ago, and then Steve said the same thing, that the majority of all MGTOWers were TFLers in denial.
yep, it's true. If you're a real MGTOWer, if you're really going your own way, you're not going to have any concern with women. The fact that a lot of these MGTOWers, most of them, are making videos completely based upon women and female nature and this and that and PUAs and dating tactics. It's just like Steve said, MGTOWers are addicted to the female validation.
They are.
But they deny it. They deny it. They're
Oh,
TFLers in
yeah.
denial.
Exactly. They're not being honest with themselves. They never have been. They're constantly, you know. I wonder how Within a Doubt's handling this. He wants to cause mayhem. Well,
Oh,
don't
come
worry.
on.
Your Project Mayhem, Mr. Win and Doubt, is about to happen right in your face. And it ain't the kind of mayhem you was planning either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. One of Steve's most famous videos, man. That still lives today. Okay? The Pussy Renaissance.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have a brand new sector of pussy renaissance whenever this martial law and people being forcibly quarantined into the house takes place. I mean, because we're gonna have, you can call it the digital pussy renaissance, because women are
Yeah.
gonna start opening up premium Snapchats, selling naked pictures for $15-20 a pop to lonely, desperate men.
If they have the internet or the ability to do that.
Yes, if they have the internet and they still have the freedom to go out and buy stuff, that's going to be their route. A lot of these women are going to be perfectly fine if they lose their jobs from the restaurant.
Well, but
Because they'll just,
you know what I think may happen at the end of this? You know that power the women been holding all this time?
mm-hmm.
Oops, it's been stripped away.
Yeah, I mean, if they shut the,
NWO removed the power from the women, and they will do it just like that.
I think you're right, Bill. I think if they do shut the internet down, it's going to be well after, and I mean well after, the military has already locked down every state and every county and every small town and every city. Every part of the country is going to be locked down, and then a few months later, I mean, they're going to give people time to adjust to it. I mean, people are still going to have their internet, they're still going to have their Netflix, still going to have their TV, still going to watch their news, their music, all that, and then boom, several months later, cut the internet off. Because I'll tell you what, if they cut the internet off right now, before they enforce the military to shut down the borders and lock people in the cities, if people don't have internet, what are people going to do, Bill? People are going to get outside. People are going to start communicating with each other. People are going to take action. People are going to start wondering what's going on.
Since they moved live television onto the internet, and that was Google's mission from day one, was to turn YouTube into a television set. And all you got to do is look at YouTube, and you can find ABC, CBS, NBC, Wednesday night, Monday night, Sunday night movies all over the internet now. YouTube now.
Yeah.
You can find entire seasons of sitcoms on YouTube now. Okay, who archived all that? Oh, that's right, Hollywood. Okay,
Yeah.
who's in Silicon Valley or who's up in California? Oh, just the heart of all the social engineering. Okay, that's who's there.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know, Bill. I think we're in for a hell of a ride. It's not going to be a fun one either.
I mean, it's completely fucking insane. I mean, the people's mentality, but I look at it for what it is. You're right, TFL probably be over. I don't mean you won't be lonely. Don't no. I don't mean that. I mean as far as women's abilities, because their power will be taken away from them against their will. Okay, and they'll get to understand what it's like to not have nobody, not have no more options.
Yeah. I could also possibly see a complete nightmare scenario where they decide in due time to round up all the TFLers, kill them dead, but keep the women alive, so that only the top people who comply in law enforcement, military, and the powers that be have the entire population of young women to themselves to forcibly rape and impregnate and have their way. I hate to even think for one fucking millisecond that could become a reality, but
I don't like anything I'm seeing personally. I really don't.
I don't like any of this shit. This shit is not. This is the first day in this entire problem that I'm actually uneasy.
Yeah.
I what the fuck?
Well,
This,
hello,
hey, how you,
hello,
Hey,
Steve.
Steve.
this Governor Cuomo of New York really wants to ramp up this police state big time.
Yeah. Well,
That's what I'm hearing.
we've already been in a police state for a while, but it's been like an invisible police state. When they started giving military stuff to law enforcement around the United States, that was the beginning. But
Yeah,
now, what Steve is saying is becoming a reality in your face.
Yep.
yeah. Nobody, you know what I said? I did a video. I did that. I got to upload my latest, but you listened to it, Bill, today, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And I said before, nobody knows anybody that's got this corona, but less than 1% of the people ever finish a marathon, but everybody knows someone who's finished a marathon multiple times.
Right.
It doesn't make statistically any sense that if there were all these people with corona, someone would know someone that would know someone, but nobody knows a fucking person that has a friend that has this shit.
Right.
It's a scam. It's got to be,
Uh,
or it's exaggerated.
Well,
You
you would
know?
think, Steve, that if it was as bad as the media is playing it out to be, that at this point there'd probably be a few million people with the disease. But no, it's
Here's
I have
another thing. I did a video today or an audio clip today, and I'm going to put it up pretty soon. It's only 10 minutes long. If why are the commentators on the networks not covering their mouths? They're all going out freely. They're walking around without masks on. Joe
right.
Scarborough. Oh, and Nika Brzezinski. She's the daughter of Zbigniew Brzezinski, who wrote the Grand Chessboard. I mean, these people, they're all part of this cabal. There's no way they're attacking Trump. I'm going to tell you what's happening. There is a power struggle going on between Trump, and I think that Trump is in big trouble because they're really on top of this thing. Trump, if we have any choice, and I want to believe maybe Trump is aware of what's going on. He's got to be able to step on this power struggle thing because they're going to ramp up this police state if we're not careful. And if you live in New York or California, you're probably going to see the worst of it. But I'm hearing,
Oh,
what
yeah.
did you guys? Colorado's going into lockdown too.
Yes.
Yeah.
My fear is that we'll watch one state after another go into lockdown.
Yeah,
That is my fear. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. Okay, I really do.
yeah,
But I'm not going to ignore what I'm seeing neither because if I'm not wrong, I'm sure not going to tell. I'm sure at least I'll know that I wasn't full of crap. But at the same time, I don't care. I'd rather be full of crap on this one.
mm-hmm.
Well, Colorado's the easiest state to shut down because it's completely mountain locked. You have 1.5 cities. You have Denver and you have Colorado Springs. Everything else is small towns. It's all mountain locked. It's the easiest place to shut down.
I guess the next thing I'd watch for is if because I got Colorado, we got New York, and we got California.
Oh yeah.
So I would watch to see if Florida and Washington don't get locked down next.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wonder what first is seeing he's out of California.
it's like I think people in the West Virginia mountains are going to fare pretty well. I think those people in rural, they're going to do pretty damn well. I think they'll fight it hard.
Yeah, I think they'd fight it better than anybody else. The Amish you're talking about, Steve?
No, the Amish are done. The Amish are going to be taken. The Amish are right in the middle of the state. They're going to be stepped on. I'm talking people. The Amish are going to be dead in this. What's going to happen is the government is going to go into these Amish communities. The people in West Virginia in the mountain areas where they live up these hilly areas, they're going to be much more situated in knowing how to hide. They're going to be pretty good. I think those people do well.
Do a hell of a lot better than the rest of us. That's for sure. I can admit that.
Yeah, I can't see. There's going to be people that survive this. I mean, that even if they lock down the cities and half the people are in FEMA camps, there's going to be people. There will be a revolution, but how it's going to play out is another story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how this will play out. But my fear is, Trump said, "Oh, July or August," right?
Yeah.
And then you got other reports saying that they're going to extend it, and this could go up to 18 months.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you something right now. Here's when I know it'll be bullshit. when they shut down everything, okay, and I have a mother in the nursing home. I have visited the nursing home. There is nobody sick. They just told me recently that everybody, everything's going good. There's no fevers or anything like that. So if
Right.
there's nobody getting sick and nobody knows anybody with COVID-19, that's a big red flag right there.
Well,
Because it seems like they're creating hysteria of all this plague, but nobody knows a fucking person that's got it.
Yes.
that's correct. That's correct. And then you pay attention to something else that rolls into that. They said the only way you can get it is through contact, like it's on a hard surface, right? Then you have
Yeah,
to rub your mouth or put your finger in your nose or your eyes or something to contract it, right?
yeah.
Well, if that was the case, then how would anybody in the nursing homes who already don't get out, how could they get it?
There's, I'm telling you that nobody in the nursing homes in Northeast Ohio, there is no outbreak of the stuff. This stuff is, they've managed to control this thing with the states like California, New York. The places like Northeast Ohio have got to be fucking vigilant. We got to have awareness of this on a local level to fight this. We can't let
Right.
this cabal. In other words, Texas is another place that's a shithole. Austin, Texas is a fucking police state. I mean, it's a fucking shithole right in the middle
Yeah,
of
it
where
is.
Alex Jones lives. I wouldn't want to be in Austin, Texas. That place is. I don't think that people of Texas are going to fight this. I think they're going to. I don't know. Maybe they will.
Well, there's a big misconception that Texas is full of these roughneck Wild West cowboys, and that's just not how it is.
No.
It's just not how it is.
If you live in a city like Austin, that is Yuppieville, USA. That is like high end. That is a
Yep.
bunch of plants from the east and west coast.
Well, yep. Yeah,
Mhm.
the other thing that I watched, I think's a red flag that people should pay attention to,
Yeah,
is they lock down all the hospitals so you can't get past the lobby. You can only get in with an appointment, right?
yeah.
Well, what if the only reason they lock the hospitals down is so people don't go looking in the hospital and discover that there's nothing going on?
Right.
Well, that's what I liked about the Jason Goodman thing. He asked, okay, if all these people are sick in New York City, why are all the ambulances idle? Why is there no ambulance moving back and forth? It
Yes.
doesn't make any sense. Nobody knows a person that's got the COVID-19. And until we know people that know, listen, I could go out there and prove to you that only one out of 10,000 people will ever run the Boston Marathon. Okay, but I guarantee almost every American knows someone who or has a relative or a friend that's run it one time.
Yep.
I'm saying this is so outlandish. If they start telling us 25% of the population has it, but yet no one I know knows anybody that's got it, that's a fucking red flag.
Yep.
Okay. So I think that, okay, here's the theory I posited yesterday. They're going to crash the dollar. Not so much, it isn't just in a cashless society option. They want to take all the money in the 401ks. They're going to do it. This is how they're going to hit the reset button. They're
That
going to
I
give you
agree.
yeah, they're going after your money. They're going after the private pensions and all that shit.
Well,
They're getting it all.
Steve, I totally agree on that because there's something else I'd already said. You
Yeah.
watch the stock market bounce up and down.
Uh-huh.
People in the know to know what stock's going up and down will place bets on the stock going up or down and make a fortune.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, and they take the 401k away from everybody because, oh, our society's crashing, okay? They may replace it with cashless society, but before they do, they will have made themselves even more filthy rich.
Well, Bill, I don't think the issue of cashless society is big of an issue anymore because everybody's money is tracked digitally anyways. It's
Well,
not the
yes,
issue.
I agree with that. My only issue with the cashless society is if you live in Florida and a hurricane comes through and you're without power for 5 or 6 days and you ain't got no cash, okay, the electricity's out for 4, 5, 6 days, 2 weeks, because I know I lived there and I was without power for 4 days. Okay?
Right.
Well, if you needed food during that time in your cashless society, there ain't no power. Sorry, you can't use your card. Sorry, you're not buying nothing.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I wish I had an answer for this, but what I'm hoping that maybe at a local level, Governor DeWine has been pretty good as far as like shutting down the schools, but I hope it doesn't get into locked borders, because if Governor DeWine of Ohio starts to implement the same measures that the East and West Coast states like California and New York are, I don't have much faith in this guy. And I'm wondering, these doctors, do you think these high-end doctors know that this is a scam, if it is a scam?
Oh man.
I almost think a lot of them don't even know it's a scam, and the ones
Yeah.
that may are keeping their mouth shut. And I think monetary, the money that costed them to become a doctor, okay,
Yeah,
all the time they spent in college and all the money they owed and had to pay. I
right.
think a lot of them are so afraid they don't want to lose their practice license to practice. So just like what we've seen with Jason Goodman, the
Yeah,
physician wouldn't be clear about it, okay? And I don't think that they're going to answer. I think they've been told
no,
already if they say anything to blah, 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 that they're going to get their license and their job taken from them. And so
yeah.
they're basically, it's like blackmailing them.
Yeah, well, I don't know why any a physician, and it seems another thing that I don't think you guys are seeing this. The comedy shows are just laughing. It's laughter, like Corona. Did you hear what Trump said about Corona? He. This is, if this is such a serious issue, why are they making comedy out of this shit? This
Exactly.
there's something not right about everything going on. The biggest red flag is that nobody knows anyone with COVID-19. I don't know one person, friend, foe, a relative that's got COVID-19, and yet they claim it's spreading like wildfire.
Yep,
That's
I
crazy.
I agree. I totally
Not
agree.
a person. There's nobody online who knows like dozens of people that have got COVID-19. It's like they're making the claim that this COVID-19's out there, and it's like, and like I said, you find more Americans that know multiple people that have run marathons, even though only less than 1% of people ever run a marathon. Yet we don't know one fucking person with COVID ID. It's just it's making me wonder, do people even ask these fucking questions?
I don't think they do, Steve. I don't, because we look at it from our perspective, but we still forget that most people are still asleep. They don't pay attention to this kind of stuff the way you or anybody else does.
Most people don't have, like, I like SBO, but SBO has to pause for 20 seconds when I ask him a question. I don't, I don't think you need to pause. That's fucking bullshit.
The only
I
thing, the
mean,
only thing I had with Espio was, and I caught him on it the other day because he come out and said, "Well, my grocery store's supplies just fine, right?" So in other
Right.
words, his shelves wasn't empty in his store. This is what he said in my chat. Then I says, "Espio, wasn't you the one that here not 15 days ago that said that your store was running out of things and the shelves were empty?" And so then his comeback was, "Well, I meant that we have a lot of food in the store, but our bread's gone, our toilet paper's gone, our milk is gone, our meat's gone."
Hey,
well,
one
yeah,
thing is, you don't need meat to survive. You just
no.
need dried beans, rice, and some vegetables and some fruit. You don't need meat. Fuck the meat thing. You can live without meat. I'm totally convinced on that.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, but you know what I found out?
Yeah.
Even the fucking dried beans and the rice and all that's gone. The shelves are empty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. People are buying that up first. I mean, I used to say the same. I was saying the same thing when it first happened. I was saying, "Oh, the stores are fine. I think this is all just a bunch of bullshit." But when I started seeing the fucking aisle started clearing up and everything was disappearing, I was like, "Oh, this shit's serious."
Well, here's what's got to happen. On a statewide level, there has to be a rebellious force to fight this, because we clearly know no one has proven to us that these people are dying. In 1918, I had a Ukrainian grandmother from 1918 who died in the influenza of 1918, by the way, that started in the United States. And everybody knew somebody that was fucking dying of it. Okay. So when that influenza hit out, people were in these mass beds, and I'm telling you, everyone knew someone who fucking had it. Nobody knows anybody
Right.
that's got COVID-19. And when they keep going about the numbers, what I think they're going to try to do is pull off this police state before the people have a chance to answer question what I'm asking. I think most people will be in lockdown before the average person can ask, where are these COVID-19 people? It's a pretense for a police state. That's what it seems like.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a pre-plan for bringing in NWO.
I don't know. Like I said before, the nursing homes that I've talked to people of other nursing homes are they say they're doing okay, that there's no issues with sickness at this point. So now they may be following precautions, but it still begs to answer the question: where are these people that have relatives or friends that have COVID-19? No one knows anybody. I would love to just ask a random person on the streets of or in any small town in New York, do you know anybody with COVID-19? Do you know anybody with COVID-19? I really don't even know if anybody in that these has really got this stuff because no one's
Right.
dying yet. And as far as the people in the Italy dying, that could be just the regular flu. It could be old people dying of the fucking pneumonia. It's um,
Yeah.
it's like the black guy that they had on TV that from Ohio that had the COVID-19 that his lungs were filling up. He could just have fucking pneumonia. I mean, pneumonia kills thousands of people every year in this country. So
Hey,
why can't he just be a person with regular pneumonia?
hey,
You
you're
know?
right, Steve. It could be people with pneumonia. It could be people with emphysema, like myself. It could
Right.
be It could be stuff like that killing people, and they're saying, "Oh, okay, we know he died from emphysema, but officially it's corona."
Yeah. That's right.
Another thing too. I could be very well wrong about this, but the like first mentioned in your stream, Steve, how he said, the people dying in Italy or are showing that kind of footage. These could be crisis actors because
Oh yeah. Oh
I've
God. Yeah. They can do it. The idea of using crisis actors is nothing new. Alex Jones
right,
even exposed that because they used to do those in Austin, Texas, in the late '90s, early 2000s, where they would like do these crisis actor thing of drills, and he would jump in front of the camera and say, "It's just a stage managed event," and they would always do this, and they've been planning this stuff for fucking years. I mean, it's like now's the time that they're really putting the nail in the coffin, and this fake pandemic. It may not even be real. It
well,
may not even be fucking real.
I'll tell you this too. I've had a couple of times where I've walked the streets of downtown Dallas, and I've actually seen the set of ABC or CBS News Dallas covering stories, and depending on what they're covering, they won't even let you get in front of the camera. They only let certain people get within the camera's view, depending on what they're covering. So that kind of gives it a red flag too. That if they're just covering news, if this is just some interviewer talking in front of the camera, why the fuck can't I walk behind it?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Why do they have why do they have cars and shit
Ask
and
yourself
tape blowing it up?
why are the commentators not getting? It seems like we have this could be the best coup in the history of civilization if they could pull off their one world government with this of coronavirus. This may be the biggest hijacking in the history of the human race.
oh yes, I totally agree with that. I
This could
saw.
be the biggest hijacking, the biggest con game in the history of humanity.
Yep, I agree with that. I saw a report today where they're saying, "Oh, this anchor from the television station, blah blah blah's got corona," and I thought,
Yeah,
"Yeah, right. Here we go
yeah,
again. It's always somebody that you could never confirm, huh?"
yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah. Tom Hanks and his wife over all the way in freaking Australia. Right.
They
Yeah.
got it, but we then they say they let them. I don't know what we don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. I just ask the most obvious questions. The red flag questions are why does nobody know anybody that's got COVID-19? And when they make a scare tactic, okay, here's what's stupid. The governor of the state of the Governor Newsom of California says by next week half this population in California will have it. That's the most ridiculous statement. If people are quarantining
Bullshit.
themselves, how the fuck are half the people going to have this fake virus? Even
Yeah.
if it was
Right.
real, it's all. I like I said, I went out today and I thought I was scared to death, and I thought, why am I scared of this thing? It's probably a fraud. It probably doesn't exist.
Yeah. Trump said today in his live freaking daily broadcast, he said that he had a meeting with all of the governors from around the United States. Okay, and to me, that's a big red flag because now they're getting together with all the governors, and then right behind that meeting, oh, New York's going into lockdown. Whoop, get the military on the streets.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, get your thoughts on this too, Steve. I was saying, um, shit, it slipped out of my mind. I might have to come back to it. Shit, I had something in my head that I wanted to ask, but it just slipped. I'll have to come back to.
I hate
I, I
that.
I don't know how much time I am talking about mass arrests or mass or government or military on streets could be as early as a week from now. I mean,
Yeah,
they're ramping this up real fast. You notice that they're ramping it up fast.
They are.
here
It's
was what I was. Hypothetically speaking, Steve. I mean, hypothetically, um, do you still think? Let's say hypothetically that this coronavirus was a real problem and people were actually dying and getting sick in large numbers. Don't you
Okay.
still think, though, logically, that it would still be better for people to just sack up and live their lives normal anyway, still go to work, still keep everything the way it is, and just whoever fucking dies, dies. Whoever gets sick,
Well,
gets sick.
no,
But
I don't think if it was real, we would try to contain it. No, I don't think that would be a good idea. But I think that there was somebody famous that made the comment, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." They told Bill Clinton that or something.
mhm,
But that idea of never letting a crisis go to waste, this is a crisis, and this is a power struggle, and they seem to be the media is on their side because every governor seems to be pushing this. I'd like to see a governor like Rand Paul come up and say, "Hey, this is the fucking emperor stark naked," you know. But I don't know if he's going to do that. And if we had somebody that could verify that these deaths were happening, that there was this huge crisis, I see this as a giant hit the reset button for the New World Order. And it's going to mean a lot of people are going to die and suffer. TFL, here's the deal with TFL. It's going to end all right. They're going to put men in concentration camps or send them to war. They're going to solve the TFL problem real quick.
yeah,
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 that's true.
they'll fix it. They'll kill you. I mean, you won't be TFL because you won't be alive to live TFL.
Lots of young men are going to die. I tell you, lots of young men. Um, they may tantalize. Maybe women will keep doing what they always do. Maybe they'll be. I don't see any indication that women are becoming more intelligent. I mean, it'd be
No,
great if we had our women on our side. You realize how what a cohesive force that would be if men and women were together and we could fight this together.
That
We're
is
not.
yeah.
that is the true power right there.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just saying that if it were a real thing, and there could be something that I'm missing from this, but if this were a real pandemic and people were dying in large numbers, don't you kind of think that that would enforce their agenda, like their depopulation agenda, just further? Like it would ramp it up quicker?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it could.
that's actually a good point because if it was a real pandemic, why wouldn't they let it run out of control and not report it until they got their numbers down?
Right. But
Yeah.
I, I don't know. I mean, I think everybody in this chat first, we know what's going on. We pretty much got to handle the overall
Hey,
truth on this matter. It's fucking
you're while we're getting feedback, guys. Somebody got their mic next to a speaker.
Not me. I hope it. I must say have it up. I don't have my mic
No,
up. Okay, could it be me talking? Is it me?
nope, you're clear, Steve.
let me put my head. Um, is it gone now?
Yep,
I
it
don't,
sure is.
I'm hoping that we fall into the realms of harmless people because I don't want to be rounded up. I don't want to think about that because But the fact of the matter is that I don't see if in fact they're shutting states down. How many days is it going to be before the grocery stores are completely empty?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, Steve. You
Yeah.
know, they're already shipping just partial orders, which is a red flag.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now your stores suddenly only getting partial orders, and if when they lock down a state, if they lock down the borders to that state, then that means there's no food getting to them stores at all.
hmm Yeah. will harass a small people in small towns like farming communities. They're going to go after their food. They're going to take. They're going to do collectivization like Joseph Stalin did to the Ukraine. They'll just take your land. They'll just fuck you over. They will. Trust me, it's going to happen. They're going to go for your shit. I mean, the government is going to collectivize all the food in the farms. Watch it.
Oh, that I agree. That I agree. And you know, if they do start going to doors, they could come to your door, look and see how much food you got, and decide you're only allowed to have this much and take the rest away from you.
Right. Like all these people that have like 5 months or 6 months of food or a year of food, they can say they can ration that and put it in a food bank and say, no, you can't have this. And the point is that I don't know how local law enforcement's going to react to this. Are they going to be part of the problem, or are they going to be fighting it and be stepped on? You know, it's weird. It's who knows?
I would hope the law enforcement would step up and start fighting with the people. I
Right.
would hope. You know,
Yeah.
like in military, I would hope some of them see through it and realize that this is also happening over in their land, and that
Right.
they need to stop and stop following orders, because we could shut it down as quick as people would do that, but I don't see people doing that.
Oh, Bill, I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're screwed. I cannot see an end to this. This will not end.
Yeah, that I totally agree with you on. I don't see an end to this. I think they're just like every day they're ramping it up a little more and a little more. Okay. I'll bet you by the time April gets here, they'll postpone schools again, and they won't
Yeah.
reopen. So the kids won't go back to school. And if they lock your state down and you can't even leave your state, that's bad.
Yeah. I don't know, Bill. I don't know what to. I don't really know what to do. I don't know if this is just a big play, just a scam. I don't know.
Well, I do agree with that, Steve. I don't know which way to go with this. I just keep watching everything and keep my eyes on it because that's all I can do. I make
Yeah.
I don't know,
I
Bill.
make my guesses based on the research and based on what I know, you know. And then I've seen this Press for Truth had Jason Bermas, whatever from Infowars on there, of course, and he was telling this is no lie and everything he said. He says this is all factual. And then he showed an article and he showed some clips and he said they're coming after his 401ks, which matches what Steve was talking about. Okay, he says he says they're bringing military on the streets into New York, and he showed the military, all kinds of military trucks on the streets of New York.
Jesus.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, and I mean, I watched that and I was, this is what I don't want to see happen.
Yeah, but Bill, what do you think the time frame is for this police state or martial law scenario? Because I don't think it's going to be short term. I don't think we're going to see this military martial law enforcement take place within the next 3 weeks to a month. I think it's going to be drawn out over the course of 10 to 18 months,
Yeah,
slowly.
I
Oh,
got,
that's a good point. But I tell you what, the roundup of political dissidents will happen quick because I think what's going to happen. This will be done like they will probably round up people who are Trump. Even Trump supporters are on their list as enemies. I mean, it's gotten to the point
Yeah.
where even an overt redneck Trump supporter can get you on their hate list. So
yeah.
there's, of course, talking about TFL is a big taboo subject. So
Yeah.
that's tolerated.
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
Steve.
definitely. Go ahead.
Steve, did you get a letter from the U.S. Census Bureau a few days ago?
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody got one. They want to know right where you're at, don't they?
No.
Oh.
April 1st is I would say that's a date to mark on your calendar because that's the deadline date that they want people to fill that shit out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what the paper says. I've never had one of those before, so it kind of it's a little bit alarming. I really don't.
You know, you're not legally required to fill it out. They don't like arrest you for it if you don't, do they?
Oh, it
Um,
says your response is required by law.
yep. Matter of fact, it is punishable.
Wow.
I'm
It
holding
is.
one in my hand, and it actually says your response is required by law.
What are
This
the
bullshit.
questions? What are the questions?
Well, it just, I mean, my paper, Bill's might be different. I don't think it is, but
No,
my
I
paper
don't
just
think
says,
mine's going to be any different.
I speak verbatim. We need your help to count everyone in the United States by providing basic information about all adults, children, and babies living or staying at this address. And then,
Yeah, we need your help, okay, to count everyone in the United States by providing basic information about adults, children, and babies living or staying at this address.
uh-huh.
Yep, same thing. So they want you to fill out a piece of paper with all the information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and if you fill out the piece of paper with all the information and send it to them, they'll be happy because then they know how many are in your household and blah blah blah. And in the middle of something like this, I would suggest not even throwing the damn thing out.
Well, you know, one of the bullet points that it reads in this paper, Bill says, help your community prepare. This one of these, the results from the 2020 census will be used to, and the second bullet point says, help your community prepare to meet transportation or emergency readiness needs. Now, why the hell would that need to happen?
Yeah,
That's a red flag to me, Bill. It really is.
that I agree with because that is a red flag. How
Why would
convenient
they?
these come out all at the same time this is going on, huh?
Why would they need to mark the population in a certain area on mass scale for helping prepare transportation and emergency readiness needs? That takes place on an individual basis. That doesn't take place on a community basis. If they're implying this on a community basis,
Do you really think that the American people could be this fleeced to go along with this program?
I mean, if they're so docile, I guess they could.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to bet, Bill, Steve, that they're probably, I mean, if they ramp this up and actually follow through with this, I don't think it's going to be like, you know, everybody's shoved into big barbed wire, black and gray prisons and just get the shit beat out of them. They're probably going to sugarcoat it. They're probably going to doll it up and make it look real nice and pretty so that people are more open to accepting it and going along with it. And then once they got them all in, boom, that's when shit really starts to, you know, take off. But I really don't know how it's going to end up. I mean,
They have to do it with foreign troops, and I could see them doing it with foreign troops because, I mean, if you could get foreign, you know, Chinese nationals and Russia, I mean, you know, European nationals on American soil, it's crazy.
yeah, and that's always something that we've never thought would happen. We've always been told, you know, America's fighting for the freedom of our country, you know, but we've never had foreign troops on our soil. I mean,
I don't at this point. I don't even know if it matter. I think there's plenty of willing dupes that would fight for the system, anyways.
I mean, hey, maybe they're going to be promised to their 72 virgins. I don't know.
Well, right here I got another one that says, okay, right here I want to read this. Right here, okay, your local community. This is on the census. By law, your response is required. Your answers are confidential. If you do not respond, we will need to send a Census Bureau interviewer to your home. So
Well,
if we don't fill this out, they're going to show up at your fucking door.
No, but they're not. No, they don't bring a gun. I've had that happen, and they actually ask you. They just ask the questions. Yeah, they don't. It's not like a criminal inquiry, or if you don't fill it, they'll just bring someone, and you'll just have to answer the questions. You know, it's really bizarre though. But a lot of people used to ignore this, but I guess you can't do it anymore.
Well, you know, at a time like right now, it makes me wonder why they want it.
Or exactly.
Because I
Well,
got I just got a feeling this is going to go on for a lot longer than what Trump said.
well, let me ask you a question, guys. Will we have sports this year like the NFL and major leagues? I'm thinking.
Man, I really don't know. I don't think we will. I'm just going to jump the gun and say we won't.
I would agree with that.
Mhm.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Fuck it. I'm just going to jump the gun and say we won't. We probably won't have any NFL. Probably won't have any college football. No NBA playoffs or finals, whatever they call it. At this point, I'm really not concerned about some pro athletes dressed up in their tight pants, making millions. I don't give a shit about them.
You think about what advantage of keeping people locked up in their homes. Nobody can make a plan. Nobody can sit up and can go out in public and talk about what the plans are, because if you quarantine everybody, what you're essence in doing is isolating them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And people are still going to TFL is going to get even worse, because if you can't leave your house, Steve, how are you going to be able to go out on a date?
No.
I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to have phone sex?
I think the only good thing, and just on a positive note, probably the only good thing that'll come out of this at all is for all these women that likes to play the games and have all their power trips. Well, just think, when you ain't got your boyfriend with you, you can't get to him because you're locked out in your house, huh?
I don't know, Bill. I don't have an answer either or. I'm hoping we're wrong. I just don't. But the big red flag to me, though, about the whole thing is no one knows anyone with COVID-19. It's just kind of like we accept there's all these people out there with COVID, but nobody knows anybody in their family that's got it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Nobody knows nobody. You know how Jason Goodman did post one short video of walking through a train station or wherever it was at, right? And trains were still running like Amtrak and so on. And there was two policemen standing in there, and one of them looked like he had a Glock 16 or something in his hand. I mean, that guy was ready. That cop was armed and ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, can we actually talk to a family member of somebody who died from COVID and actually get their words? Like, why can't we talk to the loved ones of the deceased from this problem?
Yeah, and why haven't they interviewed a loved one telling you, well, that'd probably be a crisis actor. So why can't we just know somebody who died from it and be able to talk to a family member, or at least be able to stand outside the funeral home and then talk to the family members? Because I'm sure
Right.
they would tell you right away, no, you better get mask on, you better get gloves on, you better do this, you better do that.
Right. Can we actually see the dead body? I hate to be so desensitive about it, but why can't we see the dead bodies? Why can't we put stethoscopes to it to ensure that their heart's not beating and they're just not bullshitting everyone? I mean,
Are the coffins not empty? Or where's the medical report showing they actually died from corona? Because it
right.
could be
Where's
a
the
family loved one who died of emphysema or died of a heart attack, and they're just writing a phony thing on it. And matter of fact, it could be people that died naturally from other causes of the people they're using for the amount of people dying.
Exactly. I mean, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people dying every day from, old age, health-related diseases, and anything else other than this. But they could just be falsely labeling it as corona. I mean, who
Yeah.
knows?
I mean, we
Who
don't
the fuck
know
knows?
because there's so many lies going on. This is why I'm against lies. Okay? Because this is exactly what you run into when you're being lied to. You get a thousand stories on the same damn thing, and nobody knows nothing.
It's like you can't even find an educational source or a news source, even if it's an alternative news source that you can trust. Because how do you know you can trust it?
You can't, because they're both controlled by the same entity, alternative and
Mm,
mainstream.
I don't know. I mean,
What they did with alternative media is they gave you, just like in political arena, they gave you a choice, right? But what they didn't tell you is your choice is still being paid by the same people.
I mean, I think we're just gonna have to wait it out. I really don't know how this is gonna turn out.
No, I don't neither. But guys, I'm gonna get out of here in a couple minutes. I've been up here for 2.5 hours, and so I don't know which way this is gonna go. I just say, don't worry yourself to death because that ain't gonna do you any good.
Yeah,
You're gonna stress yourself out, and it ain't gonna do any justice for you.
yeah.
We just got to be able to keep our eyes on what's going on and be willing to talk with each other and watch and see what happens. And hopefully, if things do go bad, that people in this country will become angry and fight back. That's all we can hope for.
Mhm. It's a scary idea, but I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know if we've got much of if there's really much uh like I said before, it's just a day by day. The problem with the mainstream media, Bill, is we don't know if they're telling us the truth or not because they all seem to be for the quarantine.
Well, they are, and unfortunately, with
Right.
mainstream media, they're paid to tell a lie. They're paid to tell the story that's already wrote for them. Propaganda is legal. It's been legalized. Okay, it's actually legal in this country to report propaganda.
Right.
So, I don't know what to say. I just say that don't panic over it because it ain't going to do you any good. You're just going to stretch yourself out to a heart attack. Okay? Hopefully, people will stand up if something serious does take place. That's all that we can hope for, man, is that people will stand up and start fighting back. And I was thinking about the real ID before I get out of here. And that gal down at the driver's bureau here in town who wanted to tell me about the Real ID Act that I knew about 10 years ago. Oh, and she's wanting to tell me about it and tell me, well, it's better to give up some of your liberty for security. Well, I hope she enjoys her new security called lockdown.
Yeah.
But yep, I'm gonna get on out of here, guys. But hey, thank you. I appreciate you being here, and Steve, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys.
Thank you, Bill.
Yep.
I'll talk to you later, Bill. Bye
Yep.
bye.
Later.
All right. See you, Steve. See you, Bill.